Hello, explorers. David here from home, coming to you guys from the other side of, well, on the upside of recovery, I hope, I believe, possibly, probably. Hello there, Frank. I'm actually feeling better, thank you. And thank you to everybody who reached out to me while I was deciding whether or not I was going to stay in this world. Because, wow, it was bad, it was ugly, it was not fun. But actually, kind of sparked a conversation for this evening, which is why I put up Disney conspiracies because I thought it would be, or controversial Disney topics because I thought it would be funny. As most of you know, I have a very sick, twisted, warped sense of humor. So, but for everybody who reached out, I really appreciate the warm wishes. Many of you reached out to us in DM. Many of you reached out to us in many different ways, and I really do. I thank you guys a lot. It meant a lot that a lot of you guys actually care. And for those of you who don't care, thanks for tuning in anyway. So, but anyway, Jen will be joining us shortly. We are just getting the little one down. Um, so I hope you've all had a wonderful weekend. I lost track of days, so I woke up today and found out it was Monday. But I am feeling a lot better, and things have gone along. Uh, Jen's throwing things at me. Watch out. But yeah, I mean, basically, Dragon Slayer. I'm feeling better. Good evening, Mike, and there's my Stone Cold Jedi. Um, who else is in here? Let me scroll back up. Eric, how are you? If One Little Spark is still here, I doubt it, but you'll probably be back soon, I hope, so that we can say hello to you guys. But to everybody who's in here, whether you're ninja watching or not, welcome, welcome. Tonight's going to be another home vlog. I did not feel up to going to the parks and doing a vlog today. I'm not going to rush into going back, which is also, again, kind of what sparked the topic for tonight on controversial things for Disney. But yeah, we're feeling better. I'm happy to announce because there was a period over the weekend where I did think that I had COVID. I am happy to announce that I do not have COVID. I went and had a rapid test done today. I do not have it. I did lose my smell and taste, which is why I thought I had COVID. Yeah, you missed the story, Adam Bomb. No big deal. I was when I did my live stream on, I think it was Friday night or Saturday. I don't even remember, to be perfectly honest with you. I was more than slightly medicated. Probably had no business sitting here. Was mildly entertaining, but I was really sick, and just kind of is. DC, how are you? Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, so the big news of the day is I woke up yesterday morning, being Sunday morning. I had lost my smell and taste, and I at that point I went into quarantine. I had assumed, like anybody would, that I had COVID. I had booked an appointment for today and went and got tested, did a rapid test, and the folks at CVS got in touch with me and said, "No, you don't have COVID." Presidential tourist, how are you? They may not be, but at the same time, I am about five. Anybody who, I mean, I know you were on the other night. Anybody who watched the other night know that I was in bad shape. As a matter of fact, when I got off the other night, my wife was like, "You're not okay," and I wasn't. I was in bad shape, and I mean, I've been pretty good, pretty much since. I wasn't almost going to go today. And I've had periods of on and off where my smell and taste have come and gone. But it also turns out that I have RSV, which is a respiratory virus. So, which, according to the doctor, I'm on the backside of. I should be probably done tomorrow. Um, so, yeah, and that was kind of Dragon Slayer. That's kind of what we're going to get into tonight. Is with all of the restrictions. Yeah, you're not alone, Adam. Um, with all the restrictions and tomorrow being what is essentially known as demasking day or D-Day for masks, they're also taking down all of the plastic in between the boats on like the land and elsewhere. So you're going to start seeing things go back to normal. And that was kind of, it kind of sparked a question for me last week when I started not feeling well as to, everyone always talks about contact tracing. How did I get sick? Where did I get sick? I'm in the parks every day. Did I get sick at the parks? Frankly, I don't know. There are some times on my live stream last week or even the week before where I had people that were literally had bumped into my backpack that were coughing, sneezing. And I remember saying online, if I get sick, it's because of this person behind me. So, I mean, it is possible. I'm not going to say it's not. But I also volunteered with 350 kids for 4 days every night last week. And nothing against kids, but they're petri dishes. They just grow different things. I mean, it's ridiculous what kids bring home, and they don't get sick. They just carry it. So there's a lot of things that it could have been, but it turns out it looks like it's RSV, which has a 4 or 5 day life. I'm on day 5, so I'm pretty much done with it. And as you can probably tell, I'm in a lot better shape. So, but I appreciate the well-beings from everybody, and everyone who reached out. I really do. I appreciate it. So, one of the things that we wanted to talk about. Let's see. What do you suggest? Big mistake. Thank you. See, and this is exactly what I wanted to get into tonight with everybody. You guys are actually leading the way, and I appreciate it because tonight's topic is simple. It's a Disney controversy. Everyone has their own opinion as to what people should do. I got to be honest with you. You got to do what you feel comfortable with. I went a little too far, and my wife and I talked about it. Hold on a second.
Check that message on the bottom. Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
Keep it in.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
So, basically the bottom line is you have to do what makes you feel comfortable. If you, basically, my opinion is this. Am I going to go back to doing certain things that I was doing before a week ago? Yeah, I'm going to. Do I think that we could have stair-stepped into this a little differently? Yes, but these are my opinions. And what I wanted to do tonight was to open this up to you guys. Excuse me. I'm going to actually answer everybody's question real quick, and then I want you guys to kind of give me some feedback. I want to hear what you think. It's not just about my opinions on everything, and I'm happy to give them, and and I'm going to. But like presidential tours, what do I think? Whether wearing masks or not wearing masks, I think it's a comfortability issue. There are certain areas I won't wear a mask. There are certain areas I'm going to wear a mask. What was that?
Probably a kid. Who knows?
And then Jedi. I happen to. Let's see. They're taking it down. I think we could have stair-stepped down a little bit different, and I'll get into that in a little while as to how I think things could have been done because it's my channel. I can kind of do whatever I want. That was a joke. So Adam, yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to being around that many kids, we volunteer a lot of our time around kids. We just generally don't have them all in one spot like that. And what presented were games that were outside. I thought was allergies, and I thought I got a sinus infection. And it turns out that was not the case. I went from bad to worse pretty quickly. Leah, how are you? Good to see you again. Leah,
hi, everyone.
My bad.
Leah.
Jen's here, saying hi to everybody. And so, one of the questions I'm going to open up to you guys, and I'd like to see it in the chats, and I'm going to read and I'm going to ask questions back and forth to you guys, is what do you think about the mask policy? Do you think that they did it too quick? Do you think that there are certain areas that masks should still be worn?
Well, there are.
Well, no, not as of tomorrow.
The transportation.
Tomorrow's transportation only. But you can literally go in and sit in Star Tours in every row or in land in the boats. There's not going to be any plastic up, and you're going to be able to sit maskless. And the person next to you may or may not be vaccinated. We don't have the right to ask one another, and that's fine. That's the world and the country that we live in, that's awesome. But at the same time, this is about what is your personal opinion. I want to open it up to you guys. I'm going to ask the questions and kind of talk about some things while the answers come in. But I am very curious. So yeah, I mean, the RSV that's in Florida is all throughout the Southeast. Let's see. So here's the question: mask or no mask? Let's open it up to you guys because I'll give you my answer as it comes in. Mask protect us from the infection. Okay, so Dragon Slayer's in favor. Who else? Well, let's see. I don't know, to be honest. I think it's a little too early. And I tend to agree that we went a little quick. My personal opinion, as you guys are firing them off, I'm torn on this. But some of the queues are so tight. And that, but you see, everybody's starting to come in on the middle of the road, I think, which is, like there's certain places where, like if you've been into the Mexico Pavilion and you're winding through those tight queues, you're on top of everybody. Last week, I was in line with somebody, and I don't remember which live stream it was, but I made the comment, and I actually turned my camera around, and I said, if I get sick, it's because of him. And here it is a week later, and I was sick.
I think I've gotten more backpack bumps since before COVID.
Yeah.
Like in the past week.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And Leia comes in with, I think we should still wear masks, especially in small queues. And this is where I think individual liberty comes in. If you feel uncomfortable, I'm going to tell you right now, I hope that nobody does any mask shaming around me because, first of all, I think that I'm probably going to have them on in some capacity in some places. Does that mean I'm going to be walking outside in 110-degree heat? No, I don't. That's never going to happen. I think they should keep masks for inside, at least to the end of the year. And I can appreciate the thought of through the end of the year. And I don't know that there's a time restraint. I think this is my opinion. I think it's based on science. When Disney opened back up, my initial reaction of the way that they did it was a little fast. It was like, okay, no masks. I think we should have went no masks and 6 feet for 3 weeks. And then no masks and 3 feet for 3 weeks. That would have given us an idea as to the science behind it. Were people getting sick? Were there things going on? Still wear masks to close people. I think they're making a huge mistake. There's definitely that possibility, Jedi. There's no doubt. And legitimately, I actually thought yesterday, I thought I was in trouble. I thought that I was sick. And, we immediately went into quarantine mode. And at that point, it probably was too late if I had COVID. I was very exposed to my family, and it would have been a huge issue. And we would have been off the grid for 2 weeks while we ran this through our house. Luckily, I think that I got away with a lesser virus, and I'll be back on my feet, which will bring us to another question in a minute. I personally think masks need to be on theme parks. The whole family, children can't be vaccinated. It's only 90. And that's the thing is, let's see. I am feeling better today, actually. I feel more like myself than I have probably since the middle of last week. I didn't really realize how bad I was. Disney's mindset is about. I totally agree, Frank. And presidential tourist, I agree with that too. And that's why I wanted to open this up to you guys tonight, because I want to see what everyone feels about the mask, because it's going to lead me into my second question in a minute. I happen to agree with all of you in the sense of, I think they went a little too fast. I think we all know it has to do with money. I think we all realize that, and that may have been where I got sick just in general, Leia. These approach. See, and that's the thing is I agree with you, Dragon Slayer. People were actually doing the distancing, and all of a sudden it was like you give an inch, they took a mile. I say let me. See, DC, there's a side of that I agree with too, but you do have to track the data. And if they're not tracking it anymore because they don't care, or because Orange County said everywhere can do this, I think it comes down to personal responsibility. And I still think that at the end of the day, I hate to use this word, but we have to police ourselves in the sense of that's what the word means. It means for us to watch out for ourselves and for others, that we care about. And that's what, this is a community that has grown around our channel with you guys. I know every one of you, y'all are coming in a lot. And one of the things I'm worried about is everybody's well-being. I got sick. And one of the things that happened is, and I'm going to tell you right now, it could have happened in the park because I do something very deliberate. Bella and Jen can socially distance themselves from the person in front of them by 3 to 4 or 5 feet. We choose that, how far we want to walk. The person behind us doesn't care. Okay, so what generally happens is I put Jen and Bella in front of me, and me with my camera gear and my backpack, I stay to the back side of the queue or the line, and I leave them a couple of feet in front of me. So I probably got it from someone in line or probably from someone behind me. I don't know that because I could have gotten it from kids. I have had very distant members of my family.
Oh, yeah.
I have not had anyone directly around me. I've not even had anyone in my immediate family around me. Now, Jen has, but I have not.
Well, not around me.
Not around you, but
Up
your
north.
immediate
Yeah, my
family.
immediate family up north. Yeah.
Let's see, I'm definitely finding the mess outside. Let's see, meeting the, yeah, and that's the point though, is we have to feel, look, it opens up a can of worms that I'm not trying to do in here tonight, but I will say this. You have to do what makes you feel safe. If you don't feel safe, and there's people online going, you're out of your mind, don't go to the parks, don't come. It's real simple, don't come, it's okay. It's not going anywhere, the park will still be there next year. But so will COVID. I'm not convinced we're going to eradicate it, especially when they're talking about the fact that this is, we may actually be needing shots every year, which means it's the new flu. Now, I'm not saying it's the same as the flu, better or worse. I'm just saying we're going to have to be more cautious. And that is up to the individual, in my opinion. And I think science needs to lead the way, but you also have to have the ability, I think that you have to have the ability to make up your mind for yourself. And if you have things that you're at risk for, by all means, you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself. Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah, like no kidding.
Presidential Taurus, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, like no kidding.
Yeah, I mean that's really I'm really sorry to hear that. That's horrible. And you have my deepest condolences. I'm really sorry for you. And this is kind of why I wanted to bring this up tonight, because we're changing into yeah, agreed. And it really comes down to your preferences and your comorbidities and the things that are going to happen in your life that will depend upon how you feel. What do you feel safe with? And I think that this affected people over the course of the last year, but I don't think anyone on the live streaming side, like what we're doing, has ever stopped and said, well, how did it affect you? We've all kind of sat here and said, oh yeah, well, let's bring the magic to you. Well, that's great, but I just went and got sick, and I'm not sure where. There's no contact tracing for me. There's no idea for me to know whether or not I got sick at a park. By the way, I was in Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, and 3 parks last week. I have no idea. Busch Gardens was a free-for-all madhouse, and so was SeaWorld. SeaWorld was a disaster. But does that mean anything? No, I have no idea. There's no way for me to know. And I think that that's what this is about, is it comes down to bringing a little bit of some awareness back to the fact that I keep hearing this weird term, and I don't agree with it. It's there, you're starting to hear post-COVID. I don't think there's such a thing. Like, I don't think that exists. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm just 100% in the wrong. But I wanted to bring it to y'all and say, what are your feelings about masks? What are your feelings about how this is going? I mean, someone like Presidential Taurus has been so greatly affected. It's unbelievable. I mean, 3 people in his family, and he lost his dad. I mean, that's horrible. I can't even imagine. When it came down to locking down and doing everything, we all kind of I'm going to give everybody some props. I think everybody kind of did what they were supposed to do to a degree. But I think, in my opinion, now that we're moving to the next topic or the second part of the topic, I would say this to you. I think that Disney moved too fast. I think it is about profit. I think Universal did the same. I think they all are. They took huge losses last year, and they're trying to recoup, especially in the year leading up to the 50th. So I think it comes down to us watching out for one another, which is going to bring me into my second part of this. What would you do if you're in line, or you're sitting in a laugh floor, Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow? You're sitting in anywhere. Pick a theater, Frozen, doesn't matter. You're standing in line, you're in a queue. The person behind you is coughing or sneezing or whatever. Or, there's coughing like I got something stuck in my throat and I'm sick. Which is, by the way, the reason I didn't go to the park today. I know that I'm sick. So I'm not going to go to the park and potentially get everyone else around me sick. I just don't think that that's responsible. It's also why Jen didn't go today. Even though I knew at 2:00 this afternoon I was negative, and we had passes for today. I didn't go. So I would say this to you. I'm going to read everybody's stuff, but I'm going to pose this question. Think about it for a second before we move on. If someone was in line with you, they're coughing behind you, sneezing, sniffling, the whole 9 yards, would you say something? Would you get out of line? What is it that you would do? Or would you do nothing? Now, let me read what everyone. So I'm pro-vaccine. That said, if someone doesn't want to take their vaccine, that's their choice. I defend their right. But at the end, they must. And I don't disagree with that. Let's see. Were you wearing masks at any? Let's see. People need to use common sense things. All right. So to go back to DC and Michelle, I won't say I'm pro one way or the other, and it's not because I don't have an opinion. It's because this channel isn't designed for that, in my opinion. I want to hear your opinions tonight. I will say this to you. I 100% agree with the fact that it is everyone's choice. And you do assume all responsibilities, whether you take it or you don't take it. You assume that responsibility. And I think that it becomes incumbent upon you as an individual to decide, how do I best protect me? How do I protect my family? And how do I protect those around me? Which brings into what Dragon Slayer was saying about where was I wearing masks at different parks. It depends on where I was in the park. When I was outside walking, no. When I was in line, depending upon the queue, yes. Now that doesn't mean every queue, because there were some of them that were well outdoors. There were heavy, big fans blowing. No, I didn't have them on. The places where I was required to wear them, without a doubt. When I shot video inside in Busch Gardens, yes, my mask was on. 90% of the people that were sitting around me had their masks off. I even made a comment about it. Thought it was wrong. People were very, very close. I think people have, I think there's a little bit of something that's happened where they feel like it's over. And I don't know that that's the case. Frank, I agree. It has to be common sense, because otherwise we're going to go back down the rabbit hole. I would say something, it wouldn't be nice. I would do nothing because I do not know. See, and you both are saying the same thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, Frank's saying I would say something, it wouldn't be nice, And then on the same side of it, presidential tourists are sitting here going, I don't want to be confrontational. And let's see, well, if they thought. Well, and that's why I asked this question to everyone, because I'm really curious. No, and DC, please understand something. I opened this up tonight, and this isn't for anybody to take personally, That was why I asked these questions, because I am in the parks every day. Um, I am at a place where, you know, there are people, and I'm trying to see what the general mindset is. Are there people going, no, you need to have a mask? Are there people going, woohoo, there's no mask, like Disney Vlogs just did? Are there people that are in the middle, which most of you are? And it's not about hurting somebody. He's had a great loss. I mean, unless someone else has lost someone in that capacity, none of us can understand. And it's not about, I'm trying to get people to express their opinions and their views, because we've gotten away from this in this world. We have gotten away from civilly being able to discuss things. And if anybody gets out of line in here, I'm going to bounce you. So, because that's not what tonight's about. Tonight is about us having an open Discord so that we can sit here and see how everyone can come together in a Disney community and we can stay safe. Because I could very easily be sitting here tonight telling you I have COVID, and that, or I could be in a hospital because I have COVID. Something could have really come out of this very negatively for me. I'm very lucky. And so it became, I felt like I needed to bring this up because of what happened. And because I went a little loose very quickly. And when I was laying in bed with 101 fever, now that doesn't sound like a lot, but my normal temperature is 97 and a half. So I was really running in the 102s for those of you who are 98 and 7s. I started to sit there and go, did I make a mistake? And the answer is yes, I did. I needed to be a little bit more cautious. I'm a dad, I'm a grandpa too, and I have loved ones who count on me to do certain things. And you know, so my opinions started to come out, and then Jen was like, well, what about this? What about that? And I said, you know what? Let's go to our community and let's ask. And that's what tonight started to go into. Like Disney Adventure Vlogs is no more masks, woohoo. And that's great that someone has that opinion. So, and I would love to hear his reason as to why. Um, let's see, I'm super kind about it if they're rude and wanting personal space. Just tell a cast member. Yeah, and I agree with you, Laia. There's no reason for us to get out of line. Most people, though, are kind of, we're all keyboard warriors, where once you turn around and you go to have that interaction, I think everybody is real quick to turn around and be negative. Hold on, Jen.
Let me just say something though. There were markers on the ground, and people still didn't look at them. So
I had it in every vlog.
How hard is it to see a line? Stop here. I get it. Just keep your distance back. We don't need to be sandwiched on top of each other anymore.
I don't disagree.
I mean, today, Slinky Dog's line, the wait for Slinky Dog, I think was 110 minutes at one point today. The line went all the way down to where the Incredibles used to be.
Yeah.
It was the most insane thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And
that was not 6 foot.
And they were not 6 feet from each other. They were on top of each other.
Actual line.
Because I watched someone's live stream, and I was like, wow.
And that's the thing here.
Thank you, Frank.
Is that
and they don't care, Leah. You're absolutely right.
Most people, I think, are very quick. Like if you turn and go, hey, do you mind backing up? On a good day, they get pissy about it. Okay, like they're like, what do you mean? It's like, yo, dude, I don't need your hand on my backpack. You know, I'm not different than you. I carry everything in my backpack too. I just happen to have some extra camera equipment. But at the same time, you don't need to be like, I never understood it pre-COVID, how people could bump into me. Like, I'm not a small dude. I'm 280 pounds and I got a backpack on. Like, I'm pretty big. Like, I'm a hard target to miss. So nowadays it makes less sense to me, but let me catch up for a second. Yes, Frank, it is scary. I agree. Well, Dragon Slayer, I'm going to give you a perfect example. Last week, someone's wet arm hit the back of my neck, which was disgusting. Okay. And they were sweaty and everything else. And I turned around and I looked at them and they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, why are you this close to me? Now I'm on a live stream. And so I was very restrained and I kept my mouth shut to a degree. I think the look on my face probably said a lot. But we don't need to be, I was never, you know, if you guys ever watched Seinfeld, I wasn't a close talker. I was somebody who I do like some space around me. especially with my kids around. I'm very big on, we all could use a little space. We don't need to be on top of each other, and
No, that's
especially
right.
now. Let's see. Yeah, and presidential tours. I was in the same boat. Like I was pushing, in the mid 101s, 102, and it's a horrible, horrible feeling. Stone Cold Jedi. We'll see in a few. Um, let's see. It's very rude when they don't. It's like the mask replaced covering your mouth. It's like people forgot how to do this when they cough or sneeze. Okay, I don't care if you do it into your hand because I'm not shaking your hand. Do me a favor and hand sanitize after you do it because you're going to go touch something and I'm going to touch it afterwards. But if you can't do this, go back to first grade, kindergarten. It's when I taught my kid how to do it. So I don't understand how the mask replaced that. Leah, I totally agree. They don't care anymore. Adam, I agree that most people are self-centered and rude. It shows up on, on Instagram, Facebook, and people have gotten to a place where it's, I paid all this money, I can do whatever the hell I want. And that's fine, but so did I. And I think that there's a way for us to have a very good interaction in the park. For those of you who went in the parks when there was 6 foot social distancing and park capacity was at 30%, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. People were nice. There was no anything. And it's like we threw it out the window because I can't finish that sentence. Disney Adventure Vlogs. For me, when I heard the news about the mask updates, since it's hot now,
But in the rides, he's gonna wear them.
and I agree with that. Again, I still think it comes down to what are you comfortable with, because you don't know who's vaccinated and who's not, and then you have people on both sides of that argument that are, I'm never going to do it, and you have to do it. I think it's your choice. So, and then we got, hello, Belle. I had COVID last year in May. I don't know. Whoops, I skipped ahead. My bad. I don't know who I got it from. I didn't go out either. I wish people would stay the heck away. Yeah, the simple truth, Belle, is I happen to agree with that. I was a closet germaphobe before. We were, it was November of last year. We were on the laugh floor. People were coughing. We got up and moved because they were hacking. And I'm like, we're going to get sick. It wasn't COVID. It was just, I don't want the flu. I don't want an upper respiratory. I don't want to be sick at all. Like, I don't want your germs. But at the same time, I think that there's a way for there to be a happy medium. And I think it's incumbent upon us to figure it out because they're going to throw us out to the wolves and say, hey, let's, like when they used to say in Indiana Jones, if there's a backpack between you and the person next to you, pick it up, stand up, slide down, and literally be touching the person next to you. No, that won't happen again in my world. I'll get up and leave. So the amount of times I would chicken out by saying something because, and Leia, I agree with that because there used to be a term, let's all act like we do when we're at Disney. We don't even act like that at Disney anymore. It's really a shame. And I'm kind of hoping that maybe we can shine a light on something. And maybe if we start doing it, it happens from one person and we can spread that outward. At least that's my hope. I doubt that I'm right, but it's the way that I can conduct myself. I can only control me. And if I act the right way, then maybe the next person will, and they'll pay it forward. And now most Disney YouTube vloggers here on the West Coast, and they'll be burning. See, okay, well, hopefully they're vaccinated and hopefully they don't get their friends sick. The truth is, folks, I'm not a scientist. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. But I'm going to do what I have to do to protect me and protect my family in the sense of how I feel, the theme parks protect us. Whether or not I wear a mask, I'm never going to stop hand sanitizing. I was doing it before. We all had a good joke when the soap and the toilet paper went away. I went kind of jokingly sat there and said, what, we didn't wash our hands before? Maybe we didn't. I felt this way before COVID. Just give people space. Frank, I agree. It is respectful. Michelle, borderline. Well, you have good reason, don't you, DC? I mean,
Yeah, no
you
doubt.
know, like at the end of the day, there are people who have different types of comorbidities that we have to protect, and you have to make those decisions based on what's best for you. And that's kind of the point is when you walk into any room, you don't know who, what, when, where, why, or how. So we have to do those things. And Leia, I agree. They had to follow it because they were getting pressured. Excuse me. I was going to message you later tonight. What do you guys think about Sunday night? I don't see why not.
Yeah, so message us.
Seems good to me.
Yeah, message us and we'll work it out. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
Because I don't know if we're doing a park on Sunday. So.
Oh yeah, Sam, I've been clean freak. Yeah, and that's the thing is like being a clean freak is not a bad thing. I was washing my milk. Hey, let me tell you something, everything Disney family. You're gonna laugh. We had a bucket of bleach at the front, bleach and water at the front door. When they came to drop off groceries, we were dunking things in it. Okay.
Yeah, that
like cans that could go in. We were dunking them in. When someone brought packages, I had a bottle of water and spray bleach. We were spray bleaching everything.
We were very proactive because we kind of were watching things happening in like when this was coming out of China.
I'm gonna read while this is going on. And watch what you say.
Okay, we were.
YouTube will take that down.
We were watching.
We were watching the virus develop.
So he said to me, he's like, I want you to just do this ridiculous grocery order and get things in the house.
We spent $500.
And I'm glad and let me just tell you, the Instacart shopper and like loved their tip that day too. I mean, we were good on toilet paper and all that stuff for a very, very long time. It took a while until the one day where we were searching for it that day.
See, but we were in a different place because being in the parks every day, and at that point I was vlogging every day. I kind of, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but I was watching the news and I kept sitting here and I was saying, this is going to be bad. It's going to be like another bird flu. It's going to be like SARS. And I said, all it's going to take, at the time when the last thing happened with SARS, we didn't live in Orlando. We lived in Hilton Head Island. And Hilton Head, if any of you know, it's off the coast of South Carolina. Like, it's a tourist place. It's only busy 3 months out of the year. And you could pick and choose what you were going to do. But here I felt like we were going to be exposed. And I started seeing the writing on the wall. And I told Jen, we did 2 back-to-back orders. And we just started stocking up. I mean, they were huge. So let me catch up. Let me catch up on this. Oh my gosh! They need social distance again. Michelle is very much speak up. Let's see. I'm a little bit behind, and she said, "Well, but again, DC, she's doing the right thing. What do you think the Disney environment experience would be like in a year? It's hard to tell. It depends on what happens with." Preventative. It depends on what happens. If there's another major outbreak, who knows? If there's no outbreak, they're just going to keep pushing forward. Kids too, they sneeze. You can't. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is coughing and sneezing. It all depends on how it's handled. I'll give you a prime example. I was coughing and sneezing today. I didn't go to the park. The question I guess I have is, if you knew you were sick or you thought you were sick, would you go? Would you go to the park? Would you go on vacation? Would you get on a plane? Would you get in the car? Would you go on vacation potentially thinking you had a flu, a cold, an upper respiratory, or anything? Would you go on vacation? And if so, would you go on the parks? That's my third question. Let's see. The little ones. Let's see. Yep, she's literally the best ever. COVID made me realize how unsanitary everything. And I happen to agree with you. COVID kind of shined a light on the fact that nobody was cleaning anything. I agree. And yes, it's about vigilance. It is about us looking after things ourselves and one another. Presidential tourist, you're not alone. We were all washing stuff. I was washing stuff that was coming in my house from Amazon. When we ordered our masks, we were literally steaming them. UV lighting them, anything that we thought that would keep us safe, because to this day, I'm still not sure what this thing does. I'm not sure how it works. I don't think we're going to know for a while. There's been so many things because let's be honest. You know that Abraham Lincoln invented the internet. Joke, joke, laugh, laugh. But just because you heard it on the internet doesn't make it real. So I think that we have to be, cautious and, um, and whether or not, you're vaccinated or not, it's,
Yeah.
it really is your choice as to how you handle yourself. Do not compromise or question Google alliances.
Yeah, it's like Adam is just.
Adam always has them. So, and I appreciate the levity because it's not that this isn't serious, but at the same time, I want to have fun at certain expenses of it because some of it is ridiculous. And the fact that I can't talk about certain things because I do watch other programs and I know that they've been demonetized or had their video pulled down.
That's why I was very
Yes.
skeptical about
You have
this.
to be very careful as to what you say, and that's okay. The swine flu from the 70s, there were a lot of pandemic type things that this is mimicked. But it's not just about COVID. It's also about bronchitis. It's about upper respiratory or RSV or any of the other things. How we protect ourselves, or do we just go, to hell with it and go on? I think that was why I wanted to put that out there. Oh my God, I was tipping Instacart folks like $25 and yelling at them from under the mat. Yeah, exactly. We didn't open the door till after they left, unless there was alcohol delivered. In which case you didn't have a choice. It was kind of like, oops. But Dave, arguably most people say I lost that. I'm kind of sick anyway. And look, I said in the beginning, I think you all realize I have a pretty twisted, sense of humor about things. But I wanted to kind of kick this off because there's no way to have this conversation in a park. There's no way to have this conversation really anywhere other, with Disney people. So I felt like if I did this tonight, this gave everybody an opportunity to express themselves and to get feedback from one another. Like you guys could have feedback with each other. We could have feedback with me, and so on and so forth. I would not go to the parks if I had any flu-like symptoms. And I appreciate that. I really do. And presidential tourists, I stopped going to carnivals and state fairs.
Yeah, I saw he was at the state fair, and I was actually going to message you to see were the rides gross because.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Adam. Yes, we know he invented the internet.
Let's not go there.
He invented the internet. I went to see family in Chicago this past weekend on a plane ride back. Stopped coughing, small plane, which.
Yeah, that's just.
I don't blame you. I had a solution months ago. I'll kind of. COVID has been. There were these little airplane bubbles that they had.
No, we're good.
All right. I thought you were trying to get in. So there were these airplane bubbles that you could get, and it would sit on your shoulders, and it was designed so that you could keep everything away from you, but you could see. And I was like, well, if the government bought everybody one of those and a little fan and a little camel pack so that we had a drink, we could just have stayed inside our own little bubbles like the Bubble Boy and for 2 months, and we all could have went back about our living, and maybe that was an answer. I don't know, but I don't fly because, as many of you know, I'm petrified of heights, so I don't have to worry about getting on a plane. It's going to limit my ability to do things, but I couldn't even imagine getting on a plane right now. Let's see. Also look at it. The people, yeah, and that's the thing is they were vaccinated, went on a cruise, and bam, they got COVID again. Well, it's controversial, Adam, because I can't even get into it because I'll literally have my video taken down. And the truth is it'll come out at some point, and that's fine, and we'll have that video at that point. But today, it's more along the lines of, getting everybody to interact again as human beings, so that there is no, ugliness. we can do this in a way where we don't have to be. We can all kind of just talk. And that was why I wanted to do it. Yes, the vaccine doesn't make you immune. I'll message you guys tomorrow. That's perfect.
Yeah, I responded. I told him sounds great.
Did he not? According to him, he did. Let's see. The rides were so dirty and greasy. Yeah, and I kind of expect that at the state fairs. I stopped going to them in South Carolina years ago just because
Other reason.
I have watched some absolute nightmares at state fairs, and I mean I could do an entire live stream on just that. So, and you know what goes into their food and some of the other things.
Oh, Mikey, hey.
Mike De La Soul, what's happening? So let's see. Great conversation. I've kept away from the parks. I'll make it easy for you, Mikey. I don't go to the bathroom in the parks. I live close enough that I go home. I'm not going to tell you I don't. And if it meant that it interrupted my day, I'll go back. But I'm not going in those bathrooms. I didn't go to the bathrooms in there beforehand. So yeah, not going to happen. My brother, on the other hand, wanted me to do before COVID came out. He wanted me to do, you know, like a vlog on the best bathrooms in all the different parks. But no, I'm not doing it. Everyone just needs a government issued 3M. Hopefully the vaccine will end the pandemic. State fairs are every bit as clean as SeaWorld. Only the tanks.
Well, he's the one that says it smells like chum.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And yes. So I will say this to you, and this is the best way I can answer your presidential tours because I'm not answering the question. If I thought I had COVID yesterday, I have my own opinions about it. Again, I'm not sure how much I can get into. Drinking fountains at the park, I call them COVID fountains. Why they weren't covered day one and lockdown, I don't get.
Now, presidential tourists will appreciate this because he goes to Legoland a lot. Legoland did the right thing. They closed. Our fountains are closed. Disney kept them open, and people are filling water bottles through them, and that's
and
just
the next person was drinking out of it.
gross.
Now, all due respect, I've also seen
One
people in
little
Disney
spark.
World. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, guys? How are you? One little sparks in the house. I have seen people drink out of the actual fountains in Disney World. So, and
I
that
never
is-
touched a water fountain. Like
No. I'm talking about the fountains, not the water
Ew.
fountains. I've seen people drink out of them. And that is
Ew.
potable water. So I'm sorry, I've seen everything.
Ew, I may have to excuse myself. Ew.
But, you know, and just so that one little spark knows, unless you guys were ninja watching, we're discussing, you know, what's going on in the parks and, you know, whether or not, because I was sick and I'm getting over it, you know, how you would handle yourself if somebody in the parks and you guys are in there all the time. Yeah, it is so unsanitary. It's disgusting. You know, like if you were in line and someone was coughing or sneezing or, you know, acted sick behind you, what would you do? How would you act? Well, you know, how would it go about? And then one of the other questions we asked was, would you go to the park if you were sick or if you had any symptoms, or would you even go on vacation? So we're kind of opening up the topic, and that's why I put Disney controversy, because I wanted to see. I don't know that I got sick at a park. I have no idea. There's no way for me to know. You guys are very smart about it because I've seen you on your streams with your masks on. So I know where you stand in the sense of wearing your masks and with what you guys are doing. But it's kind of like that's what I wanted to open everybody up to, because there's a lot of folks here who come to the parks, don't come to the parks, won't come to the parks. And I just wanted to give everybody a free forum to kind of talk. Let's see, drinking out of the fountains is like drinking out of toilets. I couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more.
I felt that way in like grammar school.
I've
I'm
never
not gonna
drank out of
lie.
a water fountain. You know, all you got to do is watch Parks and Rec and watch what Andy Dwyer does. I'm convinced it's how everyone drinks out of a fountain. So let's see, what's up? Drinking out of this. Hey guys, no worse than handing the same booth. You know, you're gonna laugh about that. How do I say this nicely? There was a time, and I have been contemplating going back to this time, that I used to carry my own silverware. I happen to agree with you. Um, I even had an issue if somebody brought me a cup like this. If you bring me a cup to my table, there better be a straw with it. And even that's no guarantee. I mean, so a lot of times I would opt for the bottle of water, the can of beverage, the bottled beer, just so that this way I did not have to be handling something that if the dishwasher does not have his temperature up to the right temperature, I'm basically eating off of the same thing you did, and that's not okay with me. So I'm very particular with how I eat and where I eat, and I grew up in restaurants, so I'm very familiar with how that operates. Um, Quick service to me is a little bit better because of the fact that I can get disposables. Do I think people should avoid buffets? It depends on how it's handled. I mean, look, everything in this world in my opinion, is not a generalized answer. There is no black and white. I believe we all live in the gray, and I believe that with buffets, if they're done correctly, I don't think if you remember back in the days of like Sizzler and some of those, they used to scoop it and put it on the plate for you, and we've gone away from that. And I had a problem with it at Golden Corral. You'd go in there and you'd watch someone sift through what they wanted. And it was like, yo, dude, you touched it, you eat it. Like, we're done. Like, if you guys ever watch Last Man Standing, there's an episode where Chuck goes and takes the donut off and gets the donut below. No. You touch the first donut, that's your donut. You want the second one? You can eat them both.
I've never been into like mass things. Like when I worked in offices, I'd always try to be the first person to get my food first, so
Yeah.
no one else would touch it. I'm just
Yeah. I mean, and Adam, uh, that's the point, though, is if you have people who care, first of all, that's why there's health inspectors that go into restaurants because walk-ins aren't always up to temp. People don't cover food correctly. They're not handling it correctly. This is why I won't go into certain places. I eat it. I don't want to use the word, but there are places I just won't go. And it's because my family owns restaurants. It's because I grew up in restaurants. It's because I understand that when it's done correctly and it's done the right way, it's a safe environment. But if you have somebody who is flying through things and not doing it properly because they're in the weeds, um, that's a recipe for disaster. And it can happen on both ends. It's when chicken goes out cold and when the pan doesn't get washed. And the next thing you know, you got salmonella with 5 people, 8 people in a restaurant. That's bad. That's how you can kill somebody. So I'm always very cautious when it comes to where I go, and I do pay attention to things like that. Rather drunk from glass. Who was drunk from a glass? Tonight?
I don't
Rather
know.
drunk from a glass. So let's see, Ponderosa. Yeah, and I mean things like Ponderosa, and the different restaurants like that.
Well, Sizzler hasn't even reopened since the
No.
one that's.
I mean, I don't even know what Golden Corral is
Disney.
doing, but I would
They're
imagine
open.
I wouldn't go.
No,
If workers hand you the food and the customers can't breathe on the food, see, and that's kind of my point. And it's I think that there's a way to do things a little bit in a better way where we can be safe, and I think that that's what it has to come down to. Um, People are disgusting. Yeah, they can be. There's no doubt, and I think that this kind of shined a light on some of that. I do too, Adam. Let's see. I love her.
well, Adam thought you.
Well, and that's the thing is the prime rib buffets or like the meat buffets where they're slicing it for you. Again, you have somebody who is hopefully monitoring temperature. They're paying attention to their heat light. They're paying attention to how long the food's out. Um, you hope they are, and that's kind of the point. Um, what places will I not go? If there's anything less than an A on the door, you're never going to see me there. If you made the news at any point in your career, I will not be there. Um, I am very particular. It's not chain restaurants or this or that. Adam actually put it up above you, and it says, "I check health inspection reports." They're easy to find.
Oh, Orlando has them
They're
like
very
every
easy.
3 days. I see them.
And for the most part, I got to be honest with you, my wife is a phenomenal cook. For the most part, I eat her food. When we're in the parks, there's a certain level that I expect, and there's a certain level I don't expect. Like, I'm not expecting them to come out with gourmet food when I'm going to Cosmic Rays. I'm not expecting to sit there and bite into a fresh patty beef that was just made and it's medium rare and it's cooked perfect. No, not expecting that. I'm expecting it not to be my shoe, and I'm expecting that when I eat it, it's hot, warmish, something. Um, I'm disappointed when I get cold meat, unmelted cheese, hard bun. That disappoints me. That gets me to a place where I do complain. If any of you have ever seen my deluxe burger review, I did not have a good experience. As a matter of fact, I'm on camera complaining. I took it off camera, like I took the actual complaint part off. But you see me walk up, you hear me complain because I thought that it was important for people to realize when you pay $80 for 4 hamburgers, you should get edible food. If I wanted to spend $80 for inedible food, I could pick on somebody just because I think it would be funny, but I won't do that. You know, there has to be a point at which, how do I spell hot dog? But that's the thing is you know, I expect the food to be warm. Do I expect it to be the best food ever? No, it's theme park food. I don't expect my chicken to be raw, especially if it's breaded out of a bag chicken that's already been cooked and they're simply warming it up. I don't expect it to be cold
Or frozen still.
or frozen. You know, there's just certain expectations I have. I'm always leery with salad because if salad's handled incorrectly, listeria comes up. So I'm always a little, you know, apprehensive. But at the same time, they're turning over so much food in such a short amount of time that you kind of expect that you have one person who is prepping, and you do have, or not one, but you have a team of people that are prepping. Excuse me, and somebody who's watching. Those used to be the protocols, and I'm hoping that they have returned. When the parks originally reopened, it was the food was horrible. I'm just going to tell you, we went to Cosmic Rays a couple of days after, you know, things were getting back in the full swing. They didn't have the same chicken fingers, the same hamburgers. They didn't have the same vendors.
I remember when we went on annual pass holder day, we ate at Pico's, and they didn't have their normal menu, and it was disgusting. It was very disappointing.
Yeah, and that's the point of presidential tours. You can die from it.
Yeah, food poisoning is no joke.
Especially when you mix food poisoning with alcohol. When you are free pouring the way that Disney free pours, where there's no limit, you can get killed. I mean, you mix the two things together and it can be bad. And that's why I wanted to kind of open this whole thing up and say it wasn't, you know, it's not just about food, it's about the way that we all interact inside the park and, you know, how we would handle things. And I'm getting a good idea that you guys are in the same boat that I am, where it sounds like it's common sense. What's really funny to me is out of the 13 people watching and, you know, and us, so that makes 15 plus whatever. Why don't I see anybody like this in the park? Never use ice machine.
Oh, gosh.
Totally agree with you.
Don't get me started.
I have not had ice in a drink in 2 decades. I do not put ice into drinks, first of all, because when they come out of the machine, they're cold. Ice waters down the drink, therefore, i.e., destroys the flavor. If I wanted that, I would just drink water. So, and yes, the bacteria is horrible because most places don't actually pour hot water in them once a day and bleach them out and clean them. So, yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, I mean that's just the way it goes. And people who know proper cleanliness are, you know, I don't know how you all wound up in my chat tonight, but thank you for being here. I kind of expected there to be a little bit more Well, it's really simple. You would think that because it's cold that it would stop the bacteria. It doesn't. There's growth that forms around the lids,
Because you're
specifically the
opening up
ice
and
makers as
something
you're
in
opening
and
and
not,
closing
yeah.
them. When you take the same ice scooper and go in, because as every good bartender will tell you, you never take the glass and go into it because if you break the glass, all the ice is ruined. So when you keep going in and out, your hand is on the ice scooper and you're constantly going in and out. They're very rarely cleaned. Um,
And
let's
there's
see.
like filters in the machines, like the soda machines, and they need to change them.
There's
That's why if you
filters.
ever notice, if you put ice in your drink, it changes the flavor of the drink completely.
Yep.
Like if you have it full ice.
I got sick from a burger, Regal Eagle smoke. It was definitely a shoe. Yeah, and and that's a shame because we eat at Regal Eagle a lot. I should say a lot, but we do eat there. What's up?
No, then I'll tell you later.
All right. So look, I'm not going to tell you it's not a crapshoot. It is. You're going to go into the parks. You're going to have good experiences. You're going to have bad experiences. Some of them we can actually we can diminish some of the risk. Other things, there's just no way to know. I mean, like what Mikey had happen. There's no way to know whether or not Jedi's back. Let's see. There's no way to know how your food's being handled. I'm sorry, but in any restaurant, anywhere, at any time, you don't know that. And I'm not trying to scare the crap out of you because that's not the goal of this. For the most part, I think the average person is aware of it. They don't want to get anyone sick. They don't want to get anyone hurt. I think most people fall into that category, and the food moves so quickly that it's just a matter of getting from A to B and it not sitting. Hold on a second. What's the matter?
I'm like a recruiter, I think, for that.
That's awesome.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
See, and this is not a paid promotion by Thermworks Dog. So, let's see. I'm grossed out. No more rest for me. Let's see. G.I. Joe. Yeah, see, and that's the thing is it's not meant to gross you out because there are places that handle things correctly. It's funny because we were sitting at dinner tonight and I was teaching my daughter, most of you know Bella. I was teaching Bella about Occam's razor. And if people don't know what Occam's razor is, it's a theory that the simplest solution is usually the answer. And it's such a life lesson, it's ridiculous. But it applies in every single aspect. I've never seen a place where it doesn't apply. I plug stuff like that. I don't sell anything. That's fantastic. Hey, I got some knives for you, Adam.
I don't know if we should give him knives. I'm
no,
kidding.
Adam doesn't need more knives. But the thing about it is you can trace everything to a point of, well, how do you make it better? How do you do this? How do you do that? There's just a certain amount of risk in life. I mean, it just goes with the territory. Sorry, I haven't talked in the chat because I was in the shower. Probably knock out because I'm so tired tonight.
Just keep your computer on and we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, one little spark. Just leave it running. When we're done, we'll send you a text so you can turn it off. We need the watch time. Guys, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Let's talk in a day or so because I'm back to being somewhat of a human too. Because by the way, are you guys in for Loki on Wednesday? If you are, let me know. Let me know if you guys are down for Loki Wednesday because I know DC is and I know he's ninja watching. Because I also figured out a way to stream to your channel and to DC's, which we'll talk about offline if you guys are down. So, Naked Lewis, that's fantastic. DC, if you don't have literally have Loki ears on or Loki horns on for the show, let me know because I'll go get them. That would be phenomenal.
They have them at the store in Springs, apparently.
Yeah, you know that they're around somewhere. I could get them for them to get on the show. I have a patent on it. Why does that not surprise me? So, again, the whole thing came down to it is I wanted you guys to, to kind of let me know how you felt. You really have, which I appreciate that because it kind of tells me I'm not the only person out there. More engineers should learn how to, it's funny because it started off with a phone call with my father tonight. And thankfully, my father doesn't watch my live stream, so I can say this. And if he did watch my live streams, he wouldn't make it an hour and 10 minutes in. So I definitely don't have to worry about this. I sent my father a new SIM card for his cell phone. Now, if any of you have, parents, I'm in my 40s, so my parents are, obviously in their 70s. It's kind of funny when you send them technology. So I sent them a SIM card through the mail, and I said, okay, I'm going to walk you through it. About Wednesday, we might do something. Yeah, let me know because it can happen last minute too. So I sent them a SIM card, and he got on the phone, and we were walking him through it. And I was like, "Okay, take the phone cover off." No, ironically not. He's got a nice iPhone because I take good care of my dad.
Oh, please. Oh, no. Are you going to say what happened?
Oh, without a doubt. This is way too funny.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, because we're talking about Occam's razor, so if anybody's familiar with Occam's razor, you'll understand the joke at the end of this, and I'll keep it very short. So we take the cover off, we pop the SIM cover opening out, we get the old SIM cover off, put everything back together, turn the phone on, phone doesn't work. So the first thing I did was say, turn the phone off. Okay, I'm by the way, I do tech support for my clients. Everyone who works with computers knows you turn your computer or your phone off. Generally, most of your things get solved. Any more live streams this week, 10J? Yeah, without a doubt. And I'll get to that in just a second, DAV. So basically, the end result was this. I said to him, I was like, let's pop the SIM door back open. Okay, because it still wasn't working after several tries. And I said, let's pop the SIM door back open and let's start over. Well, he was just hooting and hollering. He just couldn't get the SIM tool back in. Well, finally I turned to him and I go, did you take the cover off the phone? Take the case off the phone. He's like, yeah, I took the case off the phone. I can't get the damn thing in the hole. I'm like, all right. About 5 minutes later, he says to me, I forgot to take the case off the phone. I go, what I said. So he didn't take the case off the phone. So Occam's razor first right off the bat. If you don't remove the case, you can't get to the phone. So gets the SIM tool inside the SIM cover door, pops it open. Guess what's not in there? The SIM card. Always comes down to whatever the easiest answer is usually the right answer. How many times someone has sat there and can't figure out why their TV won't go on because it's not plugged in. And you have a tech support person on the phone. You're freaking out because something's not working. No, you didn't charge your phone. You didn't plug in the TV. It's really kind of funny because that's how most everything in this world operates. It's usually the simplest answer. Doesn't mean it's always the case, but a lot of the time it is. To answer your question, DAV, Jen may go live tomorrow. It depends on how I feel. If I wake up and I'm 50% better than I am right now, I may go. If I wake up and I feel like I still am as congested as I am right now, no, I will not be going.
Well, I might be doing the vlog tomorrow.
And Jen may go vlog. Jen may go vlog and or do a live stream. If we do not do a live stream from the park tomorrow, I may still do another vlog tomorrow or another live stream tomorrow night because I have something else I want to talk about, which has absolutely nothing to do with this. And then Wednesday we're doing Loki, but I may go live during the day in the park and then come home and do Loki at night. Thursday and Friday, we will absolutely be in the parks. That's a guarantee. Let's see exactly. Electricity is what we call. It is an industry standard. There's no doubt. It was funny because I was trying to explain to my kid. I was like, if you pick up the cell phone and it doesn't light up, what's wrong? She goes, the battery's dead. I'm like, bingo. And I said, what do? She goes, plug it in. I said, well, what if it doesn't turn on? She goes, well, I don't know. I go, try a different outlet. Maybe the outlet's bad, or maybe the outlet is turned off. The simplest answers usually are the correct ones. So it's a lot of fun to watch how these things happen. Hooray, you got your thumbs down tonight. That's cool. Yay, I got my thumbs down already. Somebody didn't like my controversy. Oh well, sorry. The question is: it best to rent a car, Uber, or Lyft when you're? Depends on your comfortability. Um, you got a three times loaded question there. Are you staying local to where your hotel is? Depends on what side of Orlando you are staying in. Are you going between the parks? What's your goal while you're here? How much money do you want to spend? And do you want to get in a car with somebody who could have had anybody in their car, and who knows what condition they're in? So I'm not a big Uber Lyft person. So you kind of also asked the wrong person. I've had a bunch of bad experiences, and they're only mine. I know all of my friends tell me I'm stupid. That's okay. Occam Racer does not. No, because at the end of the day, relationships are not simple, number one. Number two, they're not a component. Occam's razor almost never applies to people, but it applies to almost every situation that a person can find themselves in. Because first of all, you're also dealing with logic. So when you're dealing with logic, and you have someone else's logic in the mix, God help you. So you're right. Let's see. So I mean, again, it just depends. I'm the kind of person, I prefer having a rented car, because then I'm not at anyone's discretion. I can do what I want to do. I liked Lyft when Lyft associated themselves with the minivan service at Disney. That was phenomenal. If you're staying on Disney property and the minivans are running, I absolutely highly recommend doing it. It's affordable-ish, and they tell you a lot of hidden information, which I thought was fantastic. I'm over here multitasking with my mom, trying to board. Thank you, DC. So it's personal preference, and when I go somewhere, I'm either locked down in my area and I know what I'm going to do. I'm going there with a mission. In other words, if I was coming to Orlando and let's just say I was going to Disney, I would be staying on property, parking my car, and not. I would milk it for everything it was worth. If I was going between Disney and Universal, I might stay on an in-between property so that I can, utilize the hotel's transportation. If I wanted my own freedom, I'd rent a car. So I hope that answers it. Magical Express, it's sad. I don't know why they did it. I think it's stupid. I think that they will revisit that. I think because, as we talked about in one of the earlier live streams, CJ's in the house. That wasn't what we talked about in one of the earlier live streams, but I just wanted to give a shout out to CJ. I think that they're going to have to revisit it. I think there's going to be a lot of things that'll get revisited. Hello, Jen. I think a lot of things are being cut back right now because they lost $4.9 billion. And they're still losing money. It's not lost as in past tense, it's lost as in they're still losing. But it may make a comeback, especially for the person who flies into Orlando. They used to have a program where it was the land and sea package, where you could do both. What are you looking at? I'm celebrating my birthday. Oh, thank you. I missed something. I'm celebrating my birthday next week at Epcot. Any extra cool things or experiences I should try?
I just didn't want you to miss it before.
No, I really appreciate it, because I did miss it. There was like 9 things going on. First of all, let us know, because we'll meet you in there if we can. Let's see, anything extra cool?
Epcot?
The question is, when presidential tourist, when's the last time you've been in? Have you been in during Flower and Garden? Because there's some really cool stuff to eat in there right now. There's a lot of things I highly recommend. I mean, anybody who's ever watched this vlog knows one thing, or watches our live streams. I like my food. So, you know, when it comes to Epcot, that's my park. Like when I want to go and I want to go walk around the world and eat, that's my place. So, I mean, if there's something particular that you want to eat, yes, I can absolutely point you in the right direction. When's the last time you were in is my first question. When's your birthday? When you going to be in there would be my second question. And let's see, how am I feeling? I'm feeling better. I'm going to catch CJ up, everybody. Let's see, are they really losing capital or just? They lost a lot of money being closed. Watch Braden from Mickey Views. He actually broke down their financials. I watched the entire program. I will tell you, Braden, if you watch this, I love you to death. It was slightly boring, but I'm a numbers person, so I enjoyed it immensely. They are losing they lost a ton of money. They were closed. And during that time, they still had to pay things out. So they did lose a lot of money. Did they lose projected revenue? Yeah, they also lost share money. So there's a lot of things that Disney is going to recoup, and they're going to recoup it on our backs. Don't kid yourself. But CJ, yes, I was in bad shape over the weekend. Yeah, today I actually had to go get a COVID test that is negative. Yesterday I thought I had COVID, so I'm recovering well. The longer this goes on, I'm not sure that I'm going to go on for hours and hours tonight. I'm feeling already congested and I'm a little dry. I'm going to kind of let Jen do some talking in a minute and chug a Gatorade because I'm dry now. But thank you for asking and thank you for the well wishes, by the way. Other than that, I would say, you know, presidential tourist, when it comes down to special things in the park, Epcot's a loaded question right now because Epcot's the same, but they have great food. You know, thank you. I appreciate that. There's a lot of great food. There's a lot of great stuff. It's been a month since I've been at Epcot. I'm actually going week the 17th. That was the only day I could get a reservation. Which restaurant are you going to? On the 17th. All right. So, will you talk for 2 seconds?
Absolutely not.
Thank you. I will be back in a minute.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Pick up where it left off.
Well, no, I do know Epcot inside and out.
What kind of special things?
All right, in Canada. Yes. No, that restaurant. Yeah, that restaurant. The La Cellier, whatever. The cellar. I don't know. I never know how to say it. No, that's really good because the steak is amazing there. But if you are gonna walk around and have some festival food, the China Pavilion, they have amazing. What are those things? The Papa cakes and the wontons are really good. Every time Bella goes in, she asks for the wontons, and they're like the crab rangoon. And I had to tell her, what do you call it? That it was crab after she ate it, and she's like, "Oh, okay." Are all 3 rides in Epcot still? Well, there's more than 3 rides, Adam. You have. It seems like there's only 3 rides, but there are other rides. I mean, you have the Frozen ride. You have the Grand Fiesta with the 3 Caballeros. You have the 7 Future World still. You have the Under the Sea with Nemo. Test Track. Figment ride, Mission Space, and the Land and Soarin'. Yeah, 4 with Figment.
That's fantastic.
No, it's just 1. Thanks for the video. See you later. See you there in the chat. It's getting kind of late here. I've got it already. Sending tomorrow. Well, thanks for joining us, Disney Adventure Vlogs. We appreciate it. Special cotton candy at the China Pavilion. I'm not sure because I'm not a cotton candy person. So I think so.
I remember seeing it. I will tell this. I will say this to you.
Oh, Marky Mouse is here. Hi,
Mark. I will say this to you. If you're looking for, are you looking for food, or are you looking for dessert food? Because that's a huge difference.
He's eating at La Cellar.
Because yeah, if you're eating like your real meal in Canada, I doubt you're looking for more food. Although I would, so I hate to impose on someone else, but I can tell you if you walk 100 feet before it, and you go into World Showplace. Um, they have a raspberry. Um, what was that I ate? It was
I don't know
a.
if they still have it. They changed that menu up
I
so
don't.
many times.
Maybe they still have it.
That
I'll
might
have
be
to-
on that menu with the lamb.
We're actually going there this week, so I'll give you another update on it because I'm gonna go for dessert. I'm looking to demolish something, and I can tell you in France they have the macaron on a stick. It's a chocolate. It's about this big, and I'm not kidding. It's a chocolate macaron. It's like two brownies with fudge in between it, with little chocolate pearls. It is to die for, and it's like $6. It's phenomenal. So highly, highly recommend that. Looking for mimosas. 8:30 in France. Park doesn't open till 11, so good luck. You got to break in to get that one.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But you know, like if I were to stop and think and eating around the world, I can tell you right now. Also, presidential tourist. I'll say this: the new gelato stand that's opened in Italy has tiramisu and cannoli. Also has the gelato. Absolutely off the hook. Phenomenal. Is Leah leaving us too? I'm gonna head to bed. It was nice chatting with you, guys. Thank you all, by the way, for coming in tonight and discussing something that's a little bit more controversial than normal. And thank you for being very civil about it. I really appreciate everybody doing it. I wanted to know, so thanks for doing it, and thanks for coming in tonight. And we'll see you guys, during the week this week because we'll be back on every day. But have a good night, Leia. So, what about non-food stuff at Epcot? Let's see. I love the American Dream. Yeah, American Dream right now is phenomenal. You might catch a harmonious test. Thank you, Leia. You may not. Let's see. We cannot wait to log this. Absolutely, without a doubt, DC. But the rides for us, it depends. I always base everything on wait time because of how often we're in. But if you're going in for your birthday, I say do it up. I would definitely hit Figment. I don't like heights, so I don't go on soaring, so I'm not going in there at all. I'm not going on the land until Christmas because I missed the Christmas lights. Test Track. I love Test Track, man. I would go on that every day if I could go on it every day. I absolutely love it. Grand Fiesta, it's good to see the little ducks back. Like, it's fun to see them back. They're happy. They're quacking. I would go there too. The line to get in is pretty short. Queue sucks, but for having to be trapped inside. Depends on the line for Frozen. You never know what you're going to get. The bands that have been playing at Epcot Pavilion, check your times when you're going to be there. I'm always down to hang out in the outdoor concert hall in American Pavilion. I love it there. Many a times when I'm not live streaming and we're just vlogging, you can literally find me just sitting there hanging out for hours. So I'm
It's
a
the
huge
same
fan.
in Springs.
Yes. I think we're down to one. I think it's one cavalcade in Epcot. I think it's what it's down to. So you're not going to see a lot of. The M80s are amazing. I thought we were the only one who knew they were.
Yes, they are great.
They're amazing. I love them. So, but I would say this to you: just enjoy it. Walk through. Look at the fountain. You were there a month ago, so it's not like you haven't been there since, or like since everything's coming out. Just walk through and enjoy it. Do little samples here and there, have some fun, walk through. There's some really cool merch that they've released. I'm big on the shopping and the merch. Yeah, I think it is just the Princess
It's like the
Cavalcade
princesses in the
with the
car.
horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
Or the
horses,
horses or whatever.
in the carriage. But if you get a chance to, there's an area in between England and France where you can sit down and you can just kind of overlook the world. It's a great place to stop, take your mask off, and I still talk about it like I wear a mask outside, but to get away from everybody, have a break, sit there, relax. Cavalcades pass right by. That's where the French boats go by too. It's a beautiful area. What happened to the Communicore and Universal Energy?
Universe of Energy is going to be, what do you call it? Is the
Is
Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy. And the other one I don't know. There's so many areas you can't get to anymore. And I was discussing the other night, it was really cool to watch how they took the building down inside Epcot. And if you guys ever want to see it, go back to some of my December, November, and early January vlogs. You can tell because I'm in my Christmas mask. You know, it really doesn't bother me. I gotta be honest with you, Adam. It really doesn't bother me. I've been into the Epcot experience inside as you're going over by the Mexican Pavilion. I don't know, a couple of dozen times. And as a matter of fact, Reggie and Cheryl from Journey Awaits had never been in, and when they were with us, we took them in, and they were like, "I didn't even know this was here."
Isabella wouldn't go in there.
Nobody wants to go in there. I hang out in there. First of all, there's air conditioning. Second of all, it's just a cool place, and they do really cool things, and it's telling you the future of Epcot. And if it's really real, which I have a hard time with, I think it's going to be pretty spectacular. It's not what Walt wanted, but I think it'll be. I think it'll be cool. But having said all that, it was neat to watch them take it down. Literally, what did he do now? Didn't come up yet.
It's a mouse here would look like a Coles.
That's funny. You know, they rearranged a bunch of things. It's really not set up fantastically, but watching them do the construction aspect and take things down and the way they brought it back up was really kind of cool. Because they can't just implode it. You know, I mean, you have all of the tunnels underneath, so they have to do it in such a different way. So it's kind of fun to watch. Let's see, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, exactly. And but you know, I think that it's a great park. If you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna be there, you booked Epcot as your park and you're having dinner there, so you can't. It's gonna be hard to hop. But I would, you know, if you could, you might want to hop and then come back. Depends on what time your reservation is for your dinner, but especially with, now I personally will never ride the Deathliners, but they are so close and you can hop on them and you can be in the Hollywood Studios and go run around for 2 hours, and you know, depending upon what time your reservations are, might be something you want to consider. So, you know, it's your birthday, go run around, go be nuts, go have fun, go be crazy. Make sure everybody knows this way you wear your pins and get all your happy birthday wishes. So, but let me get off Disney controversy because I think we're done with Disney controversy.
I think we're done.
Controversy.
Yes, CJ, he just said Deathliners because
am I not getting comments anymore?
You're getting them, they're just kind of slow. Sometimes I get them quicker than you do.
That's not nice.
Sometimes you get them quicker than I do. Yes, because he hates heights, and he mentions this in every live thing at home about his vlog on how not to ride the Skyliner.
Yes.
But yeah.
I will say this to you: if anybody's ever not seen or not heard me talk about my absolute deathly hallows of heights, I absolutely hate heights. I'm anti anything that goes high in the air. Period. I call them the Deathliners because, first of all, it was kind of a reference to Anchorman when he's freaking out and he says, "I'm in a glass case of emotions." It's because, frankly, I don't want to be that high in the air. I'm missing all the good chat. Hold on a second.
It's coming.
Let's see. Dave just say Deathliner, pro tip, get your drink at Epcot. See, I'm not getting any of them.
That's not good.
I know he hates the Skyliner, but I've never heard him call it that.
Oh wait, they're coming in slowly now.
I wouldn't touch the Skyliner crash.
Are you on top comments or I don't know because I have to switch over to live comments. So
let's see. Oh, I didn't get any of these. Wow, Guardians. Let's see. Salty. They tore down a Commodore. Like, no. Do you think they'll ever bring innovations back? No. That's not what it looks like when you're in there. When you're in Epcot, literally, when you take the little small bridge from Test Track to the left, Like if you went to the donut place and you make a left and it goes out towards Mexico, there's a building there that used to have popcorn and stuff in it, and you kind of either have to walk around it or walk through it. Walk through it. There's the Epcot experience. Go into it. It's a blast. It's like 8 minutes, but it'll give you a better idea. Let's see. Mouse gear look like coals. Mouse gear will be back in capacity. Yes, I call them deathliners. Yes, they crash every couple of months. That's another reason why. Um, let's see.
Crashed every couple of months. They were open for 2 days, and
It was 6 days they were open.
people they had to evacuate.
We were
people.
there that night, and I'm going to tell you right now, it was a lasting impression because I had contemplated before they crashed the first time. I had contemplated it, and I said it's Disney. They probably have all the testing done right. Blah 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 blah. And then I saw the cherry pickers pulling people off 60 feet in the air, and I was like, oh, hell no. Nope, not going up there. You can't pay me. I call them the Deathliner only because it kind of went with Death Star, went with Glass Case of Emotions, went with a bunch of those things. It kind of just came out one day, and it has stuck ever since. They crash. Let's see, just because they crash together linear. I think if they crash in the sky, there's a huge problem. I'm more of the I don't want to get stuck in it. And I watched what happened and the way that they had to pull people out. And at that height, they're going to have to kill me to get me out. They're at least going to have to dart me, kind of like a velociraptor, because I'm going to fight you. I'm not coming out. Or I'm going to be passed out, one or the other, because I'll just have absolutely had an absolute panic attack and I'll be dead. So that's not working for me. I miss the science. See, I do too. I miss the science aspect of it. I miss what Walt wanted it to be. It was supposed to be, as I'm sure everyone knows, Epcot stands for the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. I really miss that aspect. Yeah, I'm not getting into a cherry picker. You got a better chance of giving me a 6-point harness and letting me actually rappel down. I might do that.
Agreed.
Might. But I'm sure as hell not trusting somebody else with my life to get into a cherry picker to get climbed down. So that's not going to happen. Make that big ball of Death Star. See, I said the same thing. I would love to see them turn that into that. That would be really cool. I think that projections on the ball would be cool too. Like they could have done some Star Wars effects for like May the 4th, turned it into the Death Star, shot some fireworks off. They should let me run Disney because I have ideas that would blow Disney fans out of the water. They did put some projections up on it, CJ. They've done some things, but they don't utilize the ball enough. There's a lot of things that they could do. And if you go into the Epcot experience, or you could go on this channel and watch my Disney's Epcot experience, and it will show you exactly what the Disney Epcot experience is. They do some really cool things. They actually turn the ball into cheese for Ratatouille. What's the easiest way to get to the boardwalk? From where? If you're talking about from Epcot, it's out the back gate. I've never walked there, so I'm not going to claim that I have.
But there's a pathway to walk. Right?
But there's a pathway that goes back that way. You have to go out the back entrance through where the Deathliners are. Yes, agreed. The swing of the cherry picker gets me. If very fun. Yeah, see, and I'm a control freak like you are because I can tell that you are. It's also why, like, you know, everyone's like, oh, well, what if you got stuck in a monorail? It can happen. I'm not going to tell you it's not possible. Plus, they also crashed. Take a bus to Epcot, then go out the international gateway. Yeah, and that back entrance is the fastest way to the boardwalk. So CJ's 100% right. You know, and it's that crash on the monorail is why you can't ride on the front cars. Only in Disney World, not Disneyland, which I don't get that. But let's see, monorail. And monorail does have air conditioning, which has always bothered me about the Deathliners. Why they did not install it in Florida, of all places. I could understand if we were in Colorado, but we're in Florida now. The day I went on the Deathliner, it was, I think it was in December. It was
November, December.
It was one of the first days after park hopping, and I literally, if any of you have ridden it, I literally went from Hollywood Studios to the Caribbean Beach Resort and got off. I couldn't handle it. I freaked. I thought I was going to die. I got off of right there, and I took a bus from the Caribbean Beach Resort to Animal Kingdom. Got onto another bus and went back to Hollywood Studios. Yeah, I'm not sure it was 10 minutes or not. It seemed like about 600 years of my life. Either that or that's how many years were shaved off of it. Um, it's funny. You love to pick on Bob Chapek. He had nothing to do with it. That was an Igor thing. Um, I don't understand the whole thing that they did with the Skyliner. To be perfectly honest with you, I know it's supposed to be a carbon neutral footprint type deal. They should have expanded the monorail. Well, there's a twofold. The monorail, if I remember the report correctly, I think it's $1 million a mile. I might even be wrong about that. It may even be less distance. Um, and they were also trying to do something like what the old Disney gondolas were, where you could travel through the park. And this was supposed
Skyride.
the Skyride. It was supposed to be, more of a nonstop, quick moving, and I kind of get it. But look, I grew up on triple lifts and double lifts skiing. And as a kid, I didn't know any better, and I didn't really care. I mean, I watched people fall out of them, and when we were going skiing, and I never really thought about it. But as an adult, no, I'm not going up there. And I've heard people go, "Oh, go at night." Because I'm not going to die at night. Is that what that'd be cool? But that doesn't mean anything to me. It just means I'm in a dark cage of emotions. No, it's not going to happen. But I put up the thing about we hit level 1 because I was going to go over contest real quick. We have hit level 1. We have not yet hit level 2. I'm kind of surprised at all of you. Shame on you. We have not gotten over the 591 mark. We're close, but we're not there yet. Got to get to 591. If we get to 591, at least we'll hit level 2, and you guys will get the opportunity for shirts and hat, or shirt and hat. Get us up to level 3. Got park merch. Get us up to a grand prize. I've already bought a bunch of stuff, so I'm hoping you guys do it because there's a ton of stuff, and I would love to give it all away. So let's see. You don't see the ground before you die.
Because I'm sorry, said it was pretty scary.
Yeah, no, and I saw that. It is ridiculous. I have no intention. Nope. No, thank you. You don't see the ground before you die, and that's kind of see. I think when you're inside, as long as the whole thing falls as a whole, yeah, I won't see the ground, and it'll just smash, and that'll be the end of it. That won't happen to me. I'll fall out of the damn thing. And I got to tell you something right now, Adam. Since you're actually in here, you'll appreciate this. If you go back and watch my how to ride the Skyliner, there's a part of which I turned bright gray, and I look like I'm about to throw up and pass out. I actually thought that if I passed out, it was the only thing that kept me from passing out, by the way. I thought if I fell and I hit the floor of the gondola, that I would go through it and I would die. So it was really kind of funny. I would much rather have my gun attached at night than day, just close with the wire. I don't disagree with you. You get no argument out of me. None. So I'll make it easier. I'm just not going. If I'm in one of the boats, I know how to swim. If I'm on the monorail, they've evac'd them enough that I'm pretty comfortable with the scenario, but I'm probably still not getting out of it. Bus, I'm on the ground. I'm good. I'll get out. No worries. But other than that, I'm not going to those things. Not now, not ever. I've learned my lesson. So anyway, as you guys have noticed, scrolling along the bottom is the I Am Your Father's Day giveaway. We're at level 1. Get us up to level 2. I want to give some more stuff away. I don't want to give you guys just like a t-shirt. Like that would kind of be bad. Let's see. While we're talking about giveaways, I'm also going to talk real quick about the 1,000 subscribers. Let's see. Maybe talk about happy trees or something. Hey, I don't look like Bob Ross. I don't have enough hair. But there's a little happy tree right here. And maybe it lives by a brook that goes like this. And there's a little house over here. And he's got a little friend, the squirrel. And he's right there. And they're in their happy place. Yeah, I don't know that that's the case. I know a lot of the people who work on everything, and I would say that they're really great people. Um, the cast members are phenomenal people. You'll never hear me say differently. As a matter of fact, I released a video the other day about one of the cast members, Galaxy's Edge, who is one of the best interactions I've seen, second only to, um, you know, it to the experience Bella had on her birthday with Katie. There's been so many things I could say about cast members. They're phenomenal. The people who work behind the scenes work tirelessly to give to us, and I always make sure I go out of my way to say how much I appreciate them. And whenever we can, we try to give back to cast members all the time. So they're great people, and if they're not given what they need to do something, I can't fault them. But I think that they do everything in their power to make sure that we are safe. Disney World, outside of having Skyliners smash into each other on a regular basis, they're pretty good about how they evac. They're very good about how things happen. All rides are going to break. All things are going to have issues. But I mean, for the most part, I think, if I had to pick out of all the parks and all the places where I would be, that's where I would be. Let's see. Thank you both for the awesome hat.
Oh, you got your hat.
Oh, you got your hat.
Fantastic. Good. Adam won what was it? The trivia when you did your first live cast. He won.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, he won the Mickey Mouse ear.
It was the Mickey Mouse Mouseketeer original. So yeah, good. I'm glad you got it. Fantastic. So let's see. What do you think? Not for a while. There's no incentive. There's no upside for the cast member. Why would somebody want to expose themselves 1,000 times a day? There just isn't.
I like the interaction they do now.
I do like the interactions. I think that they should do more of them, and I think that they should do them in different ways. I think that the ones in the beginning of Epcot, when they have like Pluto and Goofy or Minnie and Mickey, I think they're great. They should do more of those where there's a little bit of some separation, where you can get close and still get your picture in. I do miss the interaction with the characters, but I think that there's a way to do both. So, and I think that you'll see the way that changes here shortly. CJ, I couldn't agree with you more. Even like for those of you who don't know, we ran into CJ on his birthday. It wasn't a run into. We had a design.
It was actually only a week ago.
It was only a week ago, and it feels like a month right now. The way I feel. We ran into CJ and we met up at Tomorrowland Terrace, but we went and we had pictures done in front of the castle, which are posted on our Instagram. The cast member that took our photo pass was awesome. He was a lot of fun. He took a ton of pictures he didn't have to take. Was really tremendous. And that's always the case, though. Like, there are very few times where I can sit there and go that a cast member didn't go above and beyond or did not, look, everybody's entitled to a bad day. I'm never going to fault a cast member who has to deal with the gigantic a-holes that walk around Disney sometimes for having a little bit of they just got beat up by the last guy. Well, they're never going to get that from me. They're always going to get my nicest attitude. They're having to deal sometimes in the heat and with some of the worst situations in the world, and they're trying to do it in the nicest capacity. And I truly thank them for it, because for 4 months I couldn't go in the park, and it sucked. That's not the case anymore. I'm allowed to go in the park every day, or as often as I can get reservations. But I go in the parks 5 days a week. They're always nice. They're always accommodating, and I truly appreciate them. And I'm glad you like your hat too, CJ. CJ has the Mickey ears hat too. I love cast members. I just don't like Ryan breakdown. I don't disagree with you. I had said that during the entire shutdown, I don't know why they weren't refurbing rides. They had plenty of time. You can call it bad management. You can say it was they were hemorrhaging money. Could be both. I believe there was also a tremendous amount of uncertainty. I don't think that any, in hindsight, it's very easy for all of us to look back and go, well, why, which could, should you? At the point at which even myself owning my own businesses, I didn't make all the right calls. If I did, I'd be structured differently today, but I'm not. Um, so, I don't fault people when they look backwards. Um, there was a lot of forward thinking. I don't think all of it was correct. I think a lot of it is, we thought 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I don't think anyone ever expected this amount of time. That's fantastic. Um, I truly don't think anyone, especially Disney, I don't believe for a second that they thought that one park would be closed for 4 months, that four of their parks would be closed on and off for a year, and that one park would be closed. Disneyland closed 8 months?
Disneyland was closed
Or
like,
10.
it was almost a year.
Yeah. I mean, such a huge amount of time that they were closed. And, um, it really is one of those things where when you're hemorrhaging money, I would love to tell you that, you sit there and the first thought that you have is, well, what do I do about this?
It was 412 days. It was over a
It was
year.
over a year.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And that's the thing is when you're hemorrhaging money,
That wasn't right.
you do have to cut the spigot some places. And I have a whole other thing about that I'll get into in a minute, but let me read this for a second. What do I think about how safe public pools are? See, they didn't refurb rides when they were closed, but as soon as they opened, they not splash anything. Well, and that's kind of the point. Some of it had to do with COVID and presidential tourists. I'll get back to that in just a second. Some of it had to do with, construction workers couldn't be that close because of COVID protocols. And I get that. They had to keep people safe. Other parts of it were you have to obviously sit here and say, whenever you own a business, there are certain things that matter and certain things that don't. You have to keep your operating expenses going, and the other things kind of do go to the wayside. They may not have known how much time and how much money they would lose. I don't know why they didn't keep some of the cast members in and had them run rides to keep the maintenance going. I don't know why a lot of the electrical engineers didn't work, and I know that because I was friends with some of them.
But you got to keep people in for the animals though at the zoo.
And that's the thing is there's certain things that they just couldn't do away with.
Call Animal Kingdom the zoo.
Once you get to a place where I'm not even a speck of sand on Disney's beach when it comes to my business versus theirs. It's I had to make decisions for my employees. I had to make decisions for my family. And again, I didn't make all the correct decisions. I made the best ones that I had with the information. The problem is the information we were getting was wrong. So when we were getting bad information, it was hard to make plans. A lot of people will fault companies for their PPP, but I can tell you right now, it didn't go the way it was supposed to. And, I never got PPP in the capacity in which we should have. Did we get something? Yeah, I paid the people I could pay, but at the end of the day, that didn't leave anything for us. That's the way the owner is the first thing you do is you pay everybody else. And it's an old fashioned way of thinking because I know a lot of people that laid people off or just outright fired them and kept the money. I don't do things like that. That's not who I am. Let me read for a second. They managed to put all new animatronics. I don't disagree with you. I mean, there's things that they're focusing on that they shouldn't. I don't agree with all of the PC things that are going on in Disney right now, but that'll actually lead into our next topic in a minute. Let me back up for a second.
The public pool question.
The public pool question, it's hard to answer. Chlorine kills almost everything. I always thought, as long as you weren't on top of each other, it was stupid to keep people out of the pools. If people were socially distancing on the pool deck, I didn't really have a problem with it from the word go. But I think it's all relative. Again, I think it comes down to how you protect yourself. But I think that they're decent. Stone Cold Jedi, that is funny. And thank you, CJ, for everybody who's in here. If you're ghost watching, ninja watching, or otherwise, don't forget to hit that like button. Consider subscribing to us. It means the world to us and helps us grow. Don't worry about spell check. I don't even know how to spell. The new scenes are amazing. And that's probably true, and I hope it goes along with the movie.
It's
I have to go to sleep. Can't go into this now.
That's fantastic.
Teresa's here. Hello there. Good night, Adam. The only thing I will tell you about it is this, Adam, is, oh, hang on, everybody's saying, I missed something. Hold on. Let's see. The only thing I'll tell you is that hindsight's 2020. If I could go back to March of last year and make different decisions, I would. And my company would be in a different position than it's in today. And I'd be in a lot better shape. But we made the decisions that we could. I think Disney's no different than any of us. I think that they're doing the best with what they have. But look, Bob, I appreciate you coming in. Come back every time. I love having you in. You always crack me up. So, Adam, take care. Good night. We appreciate it. And it's funny because as one door closes, another window opens. And hello, Teresa. Teresa comes in. Let's see. So,
She's got ticker down. That's not even right.
what's my ticker say?
Oh, it says about the I Am Your Father's Day giveaway, and it's 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, ticker's running the whole time. Where are we? We're ticking for Tigger. Let's see. I agree with you. No, and I know that you are, but it's great for conversation because it does open up a lot of questions, and it allows us to kind of go back and forth and and to talk about it. So you've been replaced by Teresa. That's fantastic. But it allows us to talk about it, and that's what the show's about, is being able for everybody to kind of come in, chat, talk, do all those things. And tonight's conversation specifically about germs and germophobia was great. I appreciate everybody's input. So, and I appreciate you being here. So, we had a massive hurricane storm tonight. So I'm here now. You had a hurricane storm tonight. Where are you located, Teresa? I know it wasn't an actual hurricane. Anyway, I'm getting a delayed feed. Hold on a second.
I don't
So
know.
let me drop.
Oh,
this.
she's in New Jersey. Yes.
You're in New Jersey. What part? We have kin up in that direction.
We had some interesting storms roll through here today too.
Toodles, catch up on the next stream. Thanks, buddy. I do. I appreciate you coming in. We'll see you then. So you're in South Jersey. I have family that's up in North. So does Jen. They're up, right outside the city. So just be safe. And thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. What we were talking about earlier was about, how people are acting, being sick in the parks. And since, I'm getting over being sick and not knowing from where. It is a lot of fun, isn't it, DC? I love doing this.
Oh no, he's quiet.
He ninja watches all the time. He's sitting in the background.
And I
with his
made him
little,
a mod too.
he's got his little Loki ears on, and he's watching in the background.
So
He's
funny.
cooking right now. That's fantastic. You didn't bring me any. Yeah, the Norse got worse than we did. Oh my God, the second wave is coming now. Just be careful. Please be careful. It's 'tis the season. But we had talked about the I Am Your Father's Day giveaway, and that we're at level 1. We need to get to, we need like 4 or 5 more to get to level 2. So get out there and promote it. I want to give away more merch. I don't want to just give away one thing.
Oh, we're at 588. So
We're 588. So we're 3 away.
thank you, whoever
Subbed. We appreciate it. Tropical Storm Bill. Really?
There's a tropical storm in the water.
I have no idea. I've been
Well, you've
asleep
been
for 2
sick.
days.
See,
I've been asleep for 2 days.
he is like a human barometer. He's like a weather person, and he can read the hurricanes better than the weatherman. So you've been sick
I
for
have
2
no
days.
idea what's
I've
going
been
on
kind
with
of just trying to keep up with Instagram and everything like that. And let me just
North
say one
Carolina.
thing. let me just say something. I posted a picture of the cookie that we had with CJ on Instagram, and it has over 350 likes on it, and it's a cookie, and I found it hilarious. So I guess I just need to post more food pictures on
Okay.
Instagram. But anyway, that's
Yeah.
a side story. But
No one
please
cares.
be safe, everybody, about the hurricane. So
Yeah, and she's not kidding when it comes down to these things. I'm pretty good at it, so I'll take a look because I want everybody to be safe. If it's off the coast of North Carolina, this is the time of year, you know. Yeah, he's putting it's off the shore of North Carolina, so we already have
Yeah.
Bill. But everybody really be safe up there, you know, and and please, by the way, this isn't, it's not just me saying this. If you guys get hit with hurricanes and stuff, reach out to us on Instagram. Let us know that you're okay. We want to know. If I don't see people for days, like we didn't see Camila F, we didn't see Lorna and things like that, I reach out to people. When I get to see people who are coming in all the time, I want to know you guys are all right.
I chatted with him today, Drew's early morning feed.
But let's see, what did I miss?
I don't know. I kind of was looking at the weather.
Let's see, we got cooking, poodles, toodles, and spoodles. Let's see. Yeah, do that because I mean, look, I live in a place where we know we're going to get them, and you know, I've lived at the coast for 25 years between Hilton Head and Florida, and now we live inland Florida. Um, it is something I'm hyper aware of. I'm very good at reading them. But I wish every year that they would not come ashore. They're going to hit somewhere. But let's all make sure that if we know that somebody in our Disney community is, you know, involved in something, that we reach out the best way we can and try and help. What place do I have annual pass to? Everywhere but Universal at the moment. Universal, I did not do my annual pass with for two reasons. One was they were not doing reservation systems and it was booking out, and I didn't want to blow a Disney reservation trying to go to Universal. The second reason being their vlogging is very difficult. Like you can't vlog the rides. Not that that matters to me because
The only I'm interested in is
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
But they keep maxing out their day, and that to me is kind of difficult. I think I'm going to wait until, you know, because we've debated this. I don't know if I'm going to do it during the summer this year or if I'm just going to wait until the last week in August. I might wait until the last week in August, first week in September. Once school goes back and things get a little bit more normal, it'll be the first full year or the beginning of the first full year of supposed normalcy. So I'm hoping that would happen, and then maybe park levels will drop a little bit so that I can get in there and do some things like that. So, but we have annual passes everywhere. So we try.
We have Disney, the Legoland that has the
Madame
Tussauds and Sea Life, and then we have the Platinum
SeaWorld
Pass at SeaWorld, which is every
Busch Gardens.
SeaWorld Busch Garden park in the country.
So, you know, if it's in the area, we generally, that's why we're the Florida Park Explorers. We want to go everywhere. We are Disney fanatics. Don't kid yourself. My house overlooks the Cinderella Castle. It is literally faster if they would allow me to walk. If they would let me walk through the cast member area, I could walk to Cinderella Castle in about 15 minutes. So I would love to do that. It actually takes me longer to drive around, go park the car, and get in than it does for me to literally walk there. Please talk more about vlogging issues. Universal been thinking. I don't really know the whole thing. To be perfectly honest with you, I've heard some of the other vloggers talk about it. They don't allow many of the rides to be vlogged.
To video.
It. You're not even allowed to video them at all. So I don't know if it's live streaming or vlogging or both.
Well, I was watching one. I won't say
Well, I was
which
going to ask
live
a
streamer
couple
it
of
was.
them.
I was watching one live streamer, and they were very particular in the areas they went into. They did the interaction with, because you're going to interact with the T-Rex, and then there's like I'm not very familiar with Universal, so bear with me. And then there's an area, it's like a little walk around in the Jurassic Park area. And I know you can film ET. I know that because several of my vlogger friends have told me that. But I'm not really sure, but they have weird guidelines, Universal, and it's a lot of copyright stuff and that
But your
kind of
biggest
deal.
issue is always with most things is copyright claim. I get hit with them on every video.
And I've seen vlogs where it's like part of the ride and not the whole thing. Like they know what to take out. So
I haven't quite figured all of this stuff out yet. Once we went from vlogging to live streaming, I haven't figured it all out. I figured most of it out, to be honest with you. I kind of just, with the live stream, I just don't care. And I probably shouldn't say that, but I come home and I'll edit it out later. And you'll hear me a lot of the time say to those of you who are watching it live, enjoy it now because it won't be there later.
well, Star Tours is the only one. If you have a camera, they're like, yeah, you need to just put that
I'm
away.
talking about more like music and some of the other
No,
things.
no doubt.
I know it's coming. Like when we go to SeaWorld, I mean, they play Van Halen and ZZ Top and everything.
SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, I think,
They
are
kill
bad.
me.
They play a lot of like modern
They kill me.
music. And the Busch Gardens thing we got nailed for was
Yeah,
ridiculous
but
because
we
we
won
thought
that.
we were going to get nailed for the Greatest Showman song. And
If any of you saw the
We did.
fireworks at the end of Busch Gardens video, which was a 7-hour live stream, they played The Greatest Showman, and Jen and I both looked at each other as soon as I heard it, and you can actually hear me in the back of the vlog go, "Oh,
do you know, well, Bella goes, "This is a copyright warning."
Yeah. We all knew that was going to be the one." What's really funny about it is I didn't get a copyright claim for the Greatest Showman song, not one. There are 14 copyright warnings from my Busch Gardens video. The one that got me was for a song I'd never heard of. I didn't know what it was.
I
And
don't
as a
even
matter
know
of
what it is.
fact, at the time, I remember making the comment to Jen off camera that it was like the worst song they could have played because it was so slow and just like. Disney has a lot of things they don't want you to film.
Star Tours is like
Star Tours is
like
number one.
the number one. Like
Yeah,
I know that
they
right
tell
off the
you
bat.
right off the bat. There was something else I filmed the other day. Frozen. Let It Go and all. Like when you're watching the Frozen sing along, all of those songs are copyrighted.
However, it was horrible to live streaming there. We had
It was
a really
horrible
bad
live
issue.
stream, but the vlog was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The American Adventure Show, yes.
I understand why.
And then
Even
you
though
have,
I'd love to
even
live
doing
stream that.
when you do the Frozen ride, when Elsa sings "Let It Go," you're getting a copyright claim.
Even if you try to like adjust the music.
I'm gonna try it again. The Princess Cavalcade in Disney in Magic Kingdom. That song has nailed everyone. I've gotten hit with it about 6 times. Journey Awaits just got hit with it. So that one is going to nail you every time.
Epcot experienced the I think it's We Got the Funk that they play during the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
that was the
when Rocket
issue.
comes up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that they'll hit you with. Disney, for the most part, their music is not copyrighted, but certain things are. Their background music, the things walking in aren't. They're pretty good about most of it. Once you start doing it a bunch, presidential tourist, you'll realize that there are just certain areas you're going to get hit. If you're vlogging, you can cut them out beforehand. And after you get your initial copyright, you'll realize don't do that again.
Well, someone said Carousel of Progress, they mute the song when they go around. I was listening to one of the live streamers.
Yeah, when you hear "Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow," just hit mute. You can do the rest of it; they don't care. Yeah, Star Tours is one of them. They didn't say anything to me during Muppets. They didn't say anything to me. As a matter of fact, they tell you during Frozen, you can video it, and
Just
they
no
tell
flash.
you no flash. They don't care if you video it; they care if you post it. So
Well, the Muppets, they think you're not clever enough to do the 3D trick. So.
yeah, but I mean, there's not many places that that they're going to give you a hard time.
I don't think you're supposed to do it in Philharmonic either. Philharmagic.
I don't know. I mean, look, we're gonna do it on everything and see what happens. The worst case scenario is, like what happened at Busch Gardens. They told me, I had a 7-hour stream removed. I mean, they blocked
And it was back up 2.5 days later.
I did a copyright dispute, said it had to do with fair use and the fact that I do commentary. They allowed me to adjust the footage, and I did. But you'll hear me many a times. For those of you who watch the live streams live, you'll hear me go, enjoy it now because it won't be here later. And that's the simple truth of it. You'll go back and watch them 2 days later. It's gone.
And if you have to be evacuated off a ride, I was told that they really want you not to film that, even if you're live streaming. And people are like, okay, sure. It's like-
I gotta be honest with you. If that were the case, you might see me say okay and
I know, no doubt.
bend my gimbal and make it look like I'm not
No
filming.
doubt.
But I can tell you right now, I'm gonna film as much of it as I can humanly
I've
get away
seen
with.
so many evacuations filmed; it's ridiculous. So
Yeah. So it just is the way of the vlogging world. Is there's certain things they don't want you to see. There's certain things that they don't want shown. Nobody wants their dirty laundry aired. So those things aren't, they're not a bonus. But for the most part, Disney's pretty good about the other stuff. Let's see. Those pics look pretty scary. What pics? Pics?
oh, he's talking. I guess Teresa posted something on Instagram.
Ooh,
I'll have to.
I want to see.
I'll have to look. I believe I followed.
Oh, jeez. Ay. So, but yeah, presidential tourists. There's a steep learning curve. I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest time of the year to film and vlog and live stream is Christmas, but it's a friggin' nightmare. The songs are all copyright warning. Like when you walk through Hollywood Studios, I was banging my head against the wall. I didn't even hear half the stuff in the background. But I got hit with copyright warning or copyright claims every single one. That's because you're a stone cold Jedi. That's how come you can multitask. Simple truth is, it's rough. Let me just touch on this so I can get this away. Our 1K subscriber giveaway. I'm just going to hit on it and get rid of it. Basically, what it is for anybody who doesn't know, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, we are giving away 2 park passes, 1 night at a resort, Disney resort, 2 Disney T-shirts, and 2 sets of headgear, whether it's ears or hat, we don't care. So make sure you promote, because we want to give it away as quick as possible. So anyway, basically the long and the short of tonight was to kind of talk about all of the things that were controversial in the park. We never got to a bunch of other stuff that I wanted to talk about, and we kind of touched on it, came in and out, like Jungle Cruise and Splash Mountain and the rethemings. I was always curious as to, what people's thoughts were as to whether or not they agreed with it. We didn't actually get there. You guys, if you want to get there, we can. I also see, a lot of people have exited stage left. We've lost about 10 of you. And I don't know if it's just because it's 1:45 in the morning, but that should mean my West Coasters are coming in. But we started off everything with masks and social distance guidelines and things along those lines, to see whether or not, these things matter to you guys. And I really do appreciate the candor. I appreciate the fact that everybody handled themselves really well. There were opinions on all 3 sides of the aisle, and I think that it went very, very well. It shows me, and it gives me a lot of hope that we can do more things like this in the future where we can talk about things that people don't necessarily agree with, and we can do it civilly. So that was really nice, and I really appreciate that because I was very curious. There was a large part of me that thought it could blow up in my face. It probably could have. So
You might have.
it almost. I thought at one point I thought we were gonna have an issue, but we didn't. So other than that, the only other controversy that I see that's happening in the parks would be over rides and retheming of rides. And if you guys want to get into and into that, oh my God, I can't hear a word you're saying, Jedi. Your puppy cracks me up. Totally cracks me up. But there's been a lot of retheming of rides. There's been a lot of discussion of other things being redone. They've changed, Disney made worldwide news when a Disney annual pass holder posted about the fact that he goes to Disney for the fantasy, not for reality, and that everyone being inclusive in the sense of, haircuts and tattoos and things like that. I'm
We're
back.
back.
I guess I wasn't supposed to talk about that. I'm curious what. Good call, Dave. No blow up. I'm curious what people's thoughts are about it. If you have any thoughts about it. In a world where we're all trying to be inclusive, which is a good thing, the question is I guess, do rides fall into that category? Do cast members fall into that category? How would you feel? Let's see, you guys are keeping me company. Hey, Teresa, we'll hang out with you. I'm not going anywhere for a bit. So, we'll sit here, chat, talk, just keep talking to us. Give us your opinions, because this show tonight is about you guys giving me feedback. I'm curious what people think out in the real world. About if Cinderella showed up and she had sleeves of tattoos, would that bother you? If Snow White had a teardrop tattoo, would it bother you?
I think she has a poison apple tattoo, is what I would. Sorry.
Is it okay if they go out of character? Does that mean that the next thing is that the characters can talk back to us and have different voices? Does it matter that they sign their signatures in the autograph books that they used to sign the same way? Does any of this stuff still matter to true Disney people? Do we want the heritage of what Disney was, or do we want Disney in the direction they're taking us? And I think it's a great controversy, and I get to put it back to everybody and say, I'd love to hear your opinions on it. Let's see. Okay, good. I don't want to be alone. Hey, hang out with us. We're all sitting here chatting. My biggest controversial people have already left. Like Adam's already gone. Frank left. DC's cooking, so he doesn't count at the moment because he's ninja watching and cooking. But I'm curious what everybody's thoughts are about it. I enjoy watching all you guys stream. Extra careful now. Yeah, I'm gonna be even more careful in the future. But like with Splash Mountain going, and by the way, I know it's been said that it's gonna happen, but I haven't heard a word about it lately, and I'm wondering if they're just kicking the can down the road at the moment. And it goes with a lot of things. Like you saw them do it on Jungle Cruise, and they did it pretty quickly.
And they kept the ride open too.
And they kept the ride open.
But they're totally retheming Splash Mountain where
I understand
it's
that,
not.
but I don't know that they're going to do that now because of how much money they lost. They can't close an entire ride right now.
Oh no,
and
and no
theme
doubt.
it for 8 months to a year. I don't see them doing that. I just don't see them doing it. But keeping Jungle Cruise open. How much did it matter to you guys? Did Trader Sam bother you? Did the theming bother you? Was it offensive, or was it just a ride?
I'm on for the jokes
I am too.
and the backside of water, but
Jungle Cruise is so much better.
which I'd explained to Bella about the backside of water. She's like, "Yeah, I really don't understand it."
This is going to get boring if you guys don't say something. Because if not, I'll just ramble. And I got 11 of you just sitting there.
Or
But-
CJ chimed in.
Uh-oh, what's CJ say?
He
'Cause
said,
I'm not moving.
I'd be okay
There we
with
go.
them not retheming Splash. It's a classic, and I think it should be kept the same. I think the reason they're retheming it is because you can't even see the movie that it's themed after anymore.
Which is stupid. That also falls into the controversy, doesn't it? Is if you can't see the movie, and for those people who don't know about Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear, and Brer Fox, it's like I read that book when I was 5, 6 years old.
Look, I'm okay with the Princess and the Frog attraction, but I don't get why it would be
Totally.
water. Well, they're in New Orleans in the swamp, so I do get it actually because I've just rethemed it.
Why can't they be its own ride?
It could be.
Why can't they tie it in some capacity?
It's a fantasy land where the princesses are.
or to Tom Sawyer's Island.
That could work too.
There's a lot of things that they can do. My question is does it bother people that Disney is going away from a lot of things that were the foundations? I mean, I keep joking about Harmonious being a space portal, and that Walt Disney's going to come back and be like, "What the hell did you do?" Let's see, it's really heavy now. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I think Disney World having in town would be a really good place.
Yes, location wise, all the princesses are on the other side of the park. She's a princess. She should be like.
I'll go out there and be the person who actually says it. I'm totally against it. And that may cost me viewers, it may cost me whatever, but I'm a history person. Always have been, always will be. The best way that we teach is to look backwards so that we don't continue to do the same stupid crap moving forward. When you have ugliness, hate, divisiveness, or otherwise, you have to be able to point to it and say, this is what you don't do. And if there's issues with the ride, let's point them out. If there's an issue with Trader Sam, I don't get it. And I would love to have somebody explain it to me because I've read everything, I've heard everything. I still don't understand it. Now, if you're retheming it to match the movie ride, like when they added Captain Jack Sparrow into Pirates of the Caribbean, spectacular. Because that was a brilliant move. I love that. And until they got rid of Captain Jack, now they're getting rid of Jack or Johnny Depp, and it's like I don't get that. I mean, he was the face of the franchise. Hang on one sec, President Taurus. I'll get back to that in a second. I do, and Jedi. I'll definitely get to that in a second. Basically, what I would say to you is that Tiana and the Princess and the Frog. It's one movie, so I'm not saying it needs to have another one. I got to be honest with you, I didn't really like the movie. It wasn't. It's not for anything other than it's a very dark movie. I like a lot of the themes in the movie.
You gotta dig a little deeper.
Dig a Little Deeper is a fantastic song, and it should have, and maybe it needs to have a place, not necessarily like country jamboree, but something along the lines of Dig a Little Deeper is a
It was in Fantasy Fair, if you remember, the stage show they used to do in front of the castle, and then
It was a fantastic song. But some of the voodoo and some of the darkness, I'm sorry, it's still a kids' park. Like, I'm not digging it. I don't, I think everything has a space and a place, but I'm not a fan. There's a lot of Disney movies that I would catch some crap for that I'm not a fan of, but there were parts of that movie that I like, parts of it I really didn't. Disney Quest,
I don't remember.
I don't really remember it, to be honest with you, Presidential Tourist. Not well enough to give you an opinion. The trains, I like the fact that they kept the trains in Epcot. Most people don't realize that it is a homage to Walt, and that there's something of trains in every park, and most people aren't aware of that either. There's something always towards Walt nodding in that direction, and I like that. I think that they should do more to aim towards Walt. I think that anytime you go away from the founder's ideas, you lose sight of what actually matters. I wish they would make a Sword in the Stone attraction. I'd be interested in seeing that. Sword in the Stone's a classic. I mean, yes, they have the sword in the stone outside of the carousel, but I would like to see something. I think that would be neat. I'm back, just took a shower. Fantastic. Welcome back, DAV. Like I said, you're calling the pictures fantastic. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm all about forgotten rides. I'm all about everything. You're not going to get everything because I'm going to bring up two movies that I absolutely love that have no space anywhere. One is Treasure Planet.
Here we go.
Treasure Planet is my favorite Disney movie, and most people are like, "Oh yeah, that is a good movie," but no one ever remembers it. I would love more than anything to see a Treasure Planet ride, some kind of nod to it somewhere. The other thing is Roger Rabbit. I mean, Roger Rabbit is only in Hollywood Studios. There's a billboard, there's a Roger Rabbit stuffed doll, and then there is the whole of Roger Rabbit through the side window right above the cafe, right next to Eddie Valiant window. Um, it was such a cool movie, and the fact that they didn't make anything else along the lines of a Roger Rabbit or do anything with it has always been shocking to me. Um, it's just awesome. I always thought they should do a museum in each park. Well, I mean, to a degree, they kind of, the park itself is almost a museum, and that's what I don't want to see get lost. When you walk down Main Street in Magic Kingdom, just look up. There's references to iWorks. There's references to the different founding Imagineers. That's fantastic. And you know, like when you look around the parks, there's certain things that pay homage. I said it the other night, and you know, I actually got a DM about it that I'm out of my mind. But I liked the Sorcerer's Hat in Hollywood Studios. I missed the water tower. I liked the backlot tour. There were a lot of things that I think, you know, we got away from that we didn't have to.
Who would DM such blasphemy? I mean, those are great rides. They were the founding foundation of that park.
It was MGM, and you know, to have things that went away, it just
No, you wouldn't have Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land because
that's not necessarily true. I mean, Disney had the ability to expand out, and they didn't. They just, you know, they built in. And again, even with building in, they could have built into Galaxy's Edge stages, and they could have continued to have shows, and they could have done other things, and that was, you know, we've already done over.
There is a lot of useless space.
I miss the old MGM studios. I miss a lot of the things, and especially with them, you know, like Little Mermaid's not open, and they have Launch Bay open, but they don't have the character meet and greets where they could have the characters outside and simply distance the kids. They just don't, and I don't get it.
They're casting the Beauty and the Beast show. They're bringing that back.
Yeah, but I'm talking about out in the
No, just
courtyard
saying
in
in
front of Disney Junior. Half of that excitement was the kids being there and being in front of the characters, and
Well, the show's completely different now too.
but there's no reason that you can't have them out there and do what, you know, anybody who's been to SeaWorld, go into Sesame Street. They figured it out day one. They put boxes in between Elmo, Cookie Monster, and the people, and boom, you had character interactions. It wasn't hard. Another thing that they did is the way that they socially distanced for Big Bird, so that they could, you know, they had him in his nest, and you had to stand outside.
Story time.
There's a lot of things that can be done. It's just, I feel like Disney's not leading, they're leading from behind. And I miss a little bit of the, you know, like when I watch things about Imagineering and the storytelling and how Walt was impossible. Sometimes having an impossible standard brings out the best in people. And it forces you to go to a level you didn't know you had.
Nate, CJ, thanks for coming in.
CJ, thank you, man. Have a good night. Thanks for everything as always. We'll see you tomorrow. We don't know what we're doing. It just depends on how I feel. CJ's awesome for everybody, you know, who doesn't know how much he selflessly gives. We all kind of told a story about when he was here last week. He was modding while he was on stream with Turner's. I mean,
He mods for 2 channels at once.
He literally gives selflessly. I mean, he's fantastic. So, you know, but there's a way that that this can be done, and it's unfortunate because we're always so worried right now. You're welcome, Teresa. We're all here for you. Did you say Force? They should use the Force more often. They need to bring back Vader and Maul. I mean, I missed them. You know, there's a way for them to empower what this was built on. And they've got to stop worrying. I think this is a generalized statement. We have to stop worrying about. It's not hurting someone's feelings because it's Disney. It's none of this is meant to be painful. If it is, I'm really sorry. That's not what Disney's meant to be. It's meant to be an escape. It's supposed to be a getaway. That's why they call it Fantasyland. It's supposed to be somewhere where we can all go and get away. We pay thousands of dollars a year to go and live vicariously. Um, and to let our kids meet their cartoon characters and to do these things. And I think it's just Disney needs to push again. They need to push to innovate, and not in a bad way, a good way. And I think that there's a way that we can come forward. Like for instance, who in this chat would love to see 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea back? I would. You can't tell me in this day and age they can't figure out how to do a submersible ride.
Well, I think it's a Nemo right now at Disneyland.
I want to get back into the sub. I'd like to see them redo the movie, bring it back. There's a lot of things that can be done, and let's be honest, we all have our favorite movie. We all have our things that we would love to see get done again. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was phenomenal. It was a great movie. Can you imagine what they could do with today's technology and what they could do with a ride?
You got rid of Mr. Toad.
Mr. Toad was a mistake.
And the Snow White ride that they had years past. And there's rides in Disneyland that I really wish were in Disney World. Like the Alice in Wonderland ride.
Toontown not being in Disney World, that makes no sense.
Well, they had it, but they built more Fantasyland.
Like I said, there's a point at which the footprint of what they can build, they own so much land that it's disgusting. They own their own town. They own 2 towns. So, Backlot Horror is fantastic. All of these things were awesome. How about the stunt show?
Indiana Jones.
No, I'm not even talking about that one. The Ready, Set, Drive or the Drive Spectacular.
Wasn't that where Buzz Lightyear was?
I don't know.
I don't
The park's changed so much. It's not
No,
even
I
fun.
remember that. I remember we saw it a couple times.
But
15 years ago.
Yeah, it was 1,000 years ago. But I still miss the experience of the shows.
Was that like the mini cars, like
Those 3 little cars.
like in what do you call it, like in the Italian Job?
No,
It's
but
kinda
you're
like-
similar.
Yeah.
You're on the right track. But the simple thing is that it went away from being, they call it Hollywood Studios. It's not really a studio.
No. Not
Exactly, and that's actually the point. They put in Galaxy's Edge, they put in Toy Story Land. Those things replaced, a lot of those things. And
I think my favorite part of the Backlot tour is when the fire came out. You got you're just you could feel it. It's like, oh my gosh, it's fire. Of course you're gonna feel it.
but it's
fire
like
effect.
Mickey and Minnie's. The Streets of America were phenomenal, and the Osborne Family Lights. Sorry, you guys ruined that. That was. I legitimately looked forward to that every year.
But that's why they pay the homage and the Muppet
Don't
area
care.
now with the Christmas stuff because it's supposed to
I don't care.
remind you, and it upsets me to remind you.
It does because I stood there.
I forgot because that was you never go back there, so it's the
No.
first time you've been back there in a very long time. So,
But we,
It's like,
we
oh,
stood
yeah.
there and watched the last year Osborne, and we watched it go over our heads. And I wasn't there for the last show, but I was there the last year, and it was it was heartbreaking. And then this year they didn't even do Jingle Bell Jingle Bam. And Jingle Bell Jingle Bam is good. It's not great, but it's good. It's one of my favorite Christmas shows that they do. But why not bring back Mickey Mouse Club for Kids? They kind of replaced it with the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse with the actual characters. Great Movie Ride was amazing. They should have left that and put Mickey and Minnie's in somewhere else. Like where Lightning McQueen is. They could have put it there instead. I got to be honest with you, Jedi. There's a wholesomeness that's missing, and that's kind of my point. Is I think we've gone past a place where um, it's changing, and for the good or for bad, I don't know. I would like to see. No, don't get me wrong. Disney Junior is cool. It has its place, but the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was a place where kids went. They could watch it. They sung along. They sang their songs. They did all their stuff. It was cool. Maybe it had its time, but I still think that Walt found it on Mouse. And it was the Mouseketeers. I think that that's missing.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Some of these traditions, everyone's afraid of the word tradition nowadays, and it's like, I'm sorry, but some of the traditions that were founded in this park were amazing, and they were what made this place so darn special. If you go back and you listen to the Imagineers tell the story of the first day Disneyland opened, and how some of the asphalt wasn't even dry, and some of the rides they were literally patching them as people were going on them. And like, I think it was I don't remember what ride it was, but it was one of the water rides. It wasn't holding water. They were pumping water into it while it was leaking out. This is the first day it was open.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I don't remember if it was Matterhorn or
What, Disneyland?
yeah.
There's no water now.
I don't remember which ride it was though.
Could have been 20,000 League Under the Sea.
No,
But I don't know if that was there.
it might have been Small.
Small World didn't open
was
the
there,
same year as the
K1.
park.
But
I watched the behind.
no,
the
I
scenes.
know. I just can't remember which one it was, but I remember them saying, like that the people's
You know who know? Bella would know because she's
watched
watched
12,000 times.
the making of the park so many times.
All my theater friends were in Great Movie Ride.
We actually met somebody that was in the Great Movie Ride, and we looked at each other like, why do we know him? And then we found out later that he was an actor like 15, 20 years ago on the Great
Yep.
Movie Ride. And I was like,
Yep.
that's why you look familiar.
And it really is. It's sad, but we're missing a lot of those things. And it's like, when you watch the innovations of today, Adam kind of said it before that, excuse me, that they're kind of not innovating. They're just kind of going back over the same footprints. And it's like, we don't have to undo. We can just keep doing. I mean, could you imagine what would happen if they still had Mr. Toad and they brought in Winnie the Pooh? Could you imagine what would happen if they brought in Mine Train and also still had Toontown? Could you imagine what would happen if they just kept building? A lot of people feel that way, about why they took it out. I don't know. I mean, it's always one of those head scratchers, and they wanted to innovate, and they wanted to show this new trackless ride system, and they wanted to do things that hadn't been done. But let's be perfectly honest for a second. They didn't change the building. They didn't even change the inside queue.
Oh no, it's like
They did
it's the same thing.
Nothing until you hit the front door of where you go into Toontown, what is essentially Toontown. Nothing's different. So what did you really innovate? It's still the Chinese theater, and it still has all the footprints outside and the handprints.
It's like the Winnie the Pooh ride. It's the same exact track as Mr. Toad. I mean, yes, it's Winnie the Pooh themed, but every time I go on, I'm like, oh, this would happen here.
Yeah.
I get saddened.
So I mean, all they did was retheme, and they're talking about the same thing with
Oh, why did I do that?
Splash Mountain, and it's like, all right. I remember they had an attraction where you could explore Mickey's house. That was Toontown.
That was in Toontown in Magic Kingdom. That's where when they rebuilt Fantasyland, they got rid of it. There's still a Toontown out in Disneyland.
Now, I can imagine if they expanded it and turned it into a Roger Rabbit and
But
added Roger to it.
Toontown was awesome because I remember going back in the 90s, and we went. I thought it was the coolest place, even though I was in high school at the time. And I thought it was cool. So really cool.
And yet, Tomorrowland Speedway still has 25,000-year-old smelly cars.
It's just like Autotopia in Disneyland.
Why in the world they haven't been upgraded to an electric car on a rail system? I don't get it. Or come up with something a little bit better. I mean, Tomorrowland Speedway, of all things, made it. Go figure that one. That's a lot of land. You could have put 100 things there.
And it's kind of like, I mean, you see like the back of a lot of the attractions and stuff. So it's like, instead of doing the people mover, you're driving a stinky car.
I don't know. I can appreciate the driving around part and this and that, and I get all that.
Change the cars.
Either change the cars, change the ride. I mean, they put Tron right behind it, and I mean, now you're going to have this futuristic light cycle ride and the 1901 Model A car driving around.
I think it's probably like to give homage to Walt because they're like, they're older.
I don't have a problem with that, but at the same time, update the car. I mean, Disney can't say in one breath, "Hey, we're putting up Skyliners because we want to go with a less of a carbon footprint," and then have like literally the worst cycling engines in the world on those cars. So that's just my opinion. And again, tonight's about Disney controversy, and that's another one of those controversial things. It's the carbon footprints and what Disney's doing with those things.
Now, I'm not plugging Disney Plus, but they had a series, The Imagineering Story, and it's I don't remember how many episodes, but it kind of takes you like chunk by chunk for the making of each park. And some of the things that went along with it, and you could tell, like, there are times where they're talking about it and how they knew Walt would not approve of what's going on. What? You were moving and then moving back.
No, I moved it too.
Gotcha. But yeah, but I miss Toontown because I went, I guess when it was under construction, I'm like, where's Toontown? Oh, it's where that ride is now. Gotcha. I remember going in 2000 to Magic Kingdom and I wanted to go on Mr. Toad's and it wasn't there anymore. I was so upset. Yeah, we were just talking about the car stunt show because we were just talking about that a little bit ago. That was really good. We remember seeing that way back when. But I can't figure out when the park was.
It was back by where Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land is now. You had to go back by Streets of America and hang a right.
Oh, okay.
And it was back over there. But and that's the thing is so much of it tasted amazing. What did you eat? You gotta love this vlog. It's like, hey, what are you eating? I want a bite.
It's only a half hour up the road.
Yeah, no kidding. We're coming. But that's the whole point though is that there's so many things that they've taken out and they didn't have to. They could have done it differently. And don't even get me started on why Star Wars is in like nine places in Hollywood studios.
Yeah, we don't need to hit that yet. It's okay.
Like, I don't know.
It's okay.
Couldn't figure out how to move it all into one spot.
Well, they moved the Muppets, but they didn't. Like, that's what's funny.
It's kind of the point, though, right?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, like, I actually missed the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Playground because I thought it was, like, pretty cool.
And for those of you who don't remember when they used to have Binford stuff in there, that was awesome. Top sirloin steak. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Wow. That's a
Nice.
very late dinner.
Yeah, it's only one
Wow.
o'clock in the morning, or it could be breakfast. Did you have it with eggs? Balsamic vinegar. that didn't go with eggs, so I'm going to go with that was dinner.
No.
But yeah, the Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing was cool. I think it was underutilized. They could have done a lot with it. But they used to sell, and I still have my Binford T-shirt. And you're talking about going back in time. I think the show had been off the air like 6 months when I got it.
No,
Pickled
it wasn't
cat.
that long. It was just a homage to them because they had just bought up all that stuff.
Pickled cabbage. Were you bad? I'm not a big cabbage person, by the way. So only in coleslaw.
And sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut, my bad.
Which is pickled cabbage.
Nah, not really. It is, but it isn't.
It's German pickled cabbage.
I'll let her have that one. Anyway, so moving forward this week, we have a bunch of things. Obviously, it'll depend upon how I feel, and in a little while here shortly, I'm going to. A little while here shortly. I don't think that goes together.
It might.
We'll be calling it a night, and but we still have more. I still have more in me. You guys still have more in you. But tomorrow, Jen's gonna probably do a vlog. We may go live tomorrow from the park. Depends on how I feel. If not, we'll do another home vlog one more time. Wednesday, if I don't go out tomorrow, puffed Rice Krispies and a honey reduction. When you see more musical. So Wednesday, I'll probably get back into the park. Wednesday night, I know DC's down. We're going to be doing Loki again. Be a Loki review. We're probably going to do 2 different shows. We're going to do a Loki review and then do an after show where we can just all kind of sit around and chat. I got some DMs last time that said that the show, it was like a 4-hour review. The show was only 45 minutes or 51 minutes or something. So we'll probably tighten this down a little bit. Thursday we'll be back in the park. Friday we'll be back in the park. So we have a lot of live streams that'll be coming. Saturday night, I think everyone's gotten used to doing these middle of the night streams. I think they're going to start later so that we can pick up our West Coast folks that are getting out of the parks at 9 o'clock, which is midnight our time, so that we can accommodate that because we got a lot of requests from the West Coast. So we're going to probably, I don't know, maybe we'll go 4 or 5 hours that night. When do I? Yeah, I know.
Have fun with that.
I will.
I'm
I
not
enjoy
gonna
the
be here
heck out
all
of
the
it.
time.
I'll be there till 3 o'clock in the morning. I have a blast doing that. When do you see more musical entertainment at Epcot again? I think they're slowly coming back.
But do you mean musical in the sense of actual, like when they had like actual bands come in, like not just the M80s and the Voices of Liberty and what's it, La Mariacha? If I say it wrong, I apologize. But I saw Boys to Men. I saw the Who Let the Dogs Out people. Who sings that? The Baja Men or something like that.
Man.
I mean,
by the way, Jasmine rice is some of my favorite rice in the whole world. I eat it like 3 or 4 times a week. Which park? What are we in Thursday?
well, it's going to be it's going to be Magic Kingdom Monday on a Thursday.
Looks like we're in Magic Kingdom on Thursday.
And tomorrow's supposed to be Epcot, but we'll just see what happens.
Tomorrow is Epcot if I am up to it. If I'm still acting the way I'm acting right now, I'm not going. Again,
I'm not saying denying you that I think you need another day.
I think I need another day too. I don't really feel up to it right now. And if I don't feel up to it now, I probably won't in 15 hours. I probably will not feel like doing it. I probably will do another home stream tomorrow night and I'll come up with a new theme because there's some things I still want to go over. I like the drummers at Japan, etc. Yeah, see, I miss a lot of the country stuff. And one of the things about live streaming is I've gotten away from vlogging. And to be perfectly honest with you, one of the main reasons I'm not doing the vlogging is I've been able to hit a lot more people with the live streams. The view count is way higher. I'm getting our channel out to more people. I want to get back to doing some more vlogging. So I'm going to try and find a happy balance. I may do vlogging during the day, live streams at night, so that I can put out more content. I want to go through the countries and I want to do some more stuff. Let's see, DC Michelle, did you get the cookbook you were talking about? I have. Ooh, that sounds good. Speaking of eating things Jedi, we had the breakfast Ronto wrap on Bella's birthday. Let me tell you something.
And the Tatooine Sunset drink.
And the Tatooine Sunset.
It needed a lot less ice because we just talked the ice thing, but the one thing they don't have on their wrap is no ice or very light ice. And
the Ronto wrap breakfast wrap is amazing.
People say it's better. I think you even said it's better than the regular Ronto wrap.
It's up there, but I can tell you right now, I enjoyed the heck out of it. I could have eaten 4 of them. They were so good.
We didn't have the milk presidential tours because I didn't want Bella to have it the first time and it was 150-degree weather. So
I don't like it.
I've never.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now, I don't like it.
I just think of Uncle Owen. It's all I think of.
I'm not a fan. And by the way, I'm not a fan of milk. So
I don't think it's actually milk. I think
yeah,
it's.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, I even like when I had the Fruit Loop shake in Epcot, it was gross.
And they changed the color of it, by the way. Like I think when we had it, what was it, like bluish green, and
No,
it
it's
turned
yellow.
into a yellow color. It's like what?
I'm not a fan of things like that, so I'm the wrong person in that. Everyone says the blue is better than the green. I'll take your word for it. The only thing that they should do, and this is something Disney always makes a huge mistake on, they don't believe in samples. You want me to buy it and be a loyal person? Give me a little thimble full. Let me try it. If I think it's good, I'm in the parks 5 days a week. I'll be happy to drink it. If it's gross, I'm never drinking it again. Blue tastes better than green. I enjoy the blue milk. It's odd but good. Hello there, Amy. I like the green better. See, and that's the thing is that's why there's.
I'm sorry, reading the description just sounds kind of gross. It's kind of, is it taste like Fruit Loops? Because one is plant-based blend of blue milk is plant-based blend, coconut and rice milk with alluring fruity characteristics. And then the other with the green milk is the coconut and rice milk blend with zippy citrus and tropical characteristics.
Nope. So, hello there, by the way, Amy.
And then you can add rum to it.
Now you're talking. Okay, you're gonna blend it up, make
Rum
it
or
a pina
tequila
colada.
you
We're
can add
good
to
to
it.
go.
That's
But
fantastic.
other than that, I'm not interested. But again, I think that Disney goes off the rails by not doing some samples of things because I think that they could hook people in on doing things, like especially when it's an unknown entity.
Let us know what flavor milk you have. We obviously have the green versus blue in the chat.
Yeah, they're telling us.
I know.
Now, if you've never had the Tatooine Sunset, highly recommend it. That was one of the best things I've had, like liquid wise, and I would love to see them offer Parrot Bay.
I think they
added
put
to it.
something in it, but it was 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was his birthday.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
I don't disagree with that either.
I figured it was. I knew she'd enjoy it. It's the first thing she asked, like, "Is there alcohol in this?" I'm like, no. Like I wouldn't be putting it in front of you.
Because we're big alcohol people.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you'll always hear me say, "Yeah, put this in or put that in it." Back in the day, yeah, I probably would have been down for it. The last time I probably had alcohol, I couldn't even tell you the last time. I gotta get going. It was nice talking to you. I hope you have a wonderful night, presidential tourist. Is it this Thursday that you're in Epcot?
It's when we're in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, if parks open or things change, we may wind up in there anyway. So
We may change our schedule around depending.
yeah. I would assume that you're on Instagram, and if you are, we'll make sure that we stay in touch if we head over that way. But if we don't, we'll see you tomorrow or Wednesday or both before you head out for your birthday. And if we don't talk to you before then, happy birthday. So, definitely stay in touch with us because, we always like to do happy birthdays to people. And if anybody's having birthdays or they're coming down to Disney, let us know because we always try to meet up with everybody. The reservations are always a pain in the butt, but if we can, we absolutely will.
It's Hollywood Studios. It's usually a pain, and the weekends. So like.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we may switch over to Epcot simply because.
Well, if we don't go tomorrow, maybe we'll do Magic Kingdom on Wednesday, and then.
So there's a good chance. There's a chance that we'll switch it up. So we may see you in there anyway. But no, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate the chat. We appreciate you guys all, doing everything tonight and having a good conversation with us. So we do. But yeah, when it comes down to, weird foods in the park, obviously green and blue milk top the list. Disney hits and misses with a lot of things. The Fruit Loop, it was good, but it was there was a weird bittiness in the bottom at the end.
It's like somebody took sand and threw it in a cup. Like it was really.
That was weird at the bottom, but I like the overall flavor. It was good.
I was expecting cereal milk. No, it didn't.
It was close to it. It just you couldn't put the straw all the way to the bottom.
Give me Cocoa Puff shake, and there you go. Like there.
I don't have a problem with that. You could also have done Fruity Pebbles, and I would have been twice as happy. Fruity Pebbles would have made my day. But there's a lot of really good things in the parks where And too bad Lewis isn't here because I'd break his stones about the chicken and waffles. That spicy chicken and waffles just looks so good. I just want to go in there and hammer that. That sounds so good. And if nobody has been over to Tomorrowland Terrace, let me tell you something. They do fried shrimp right.
Well, they have the Columbia House menu in there right now, but and I noticed there's fried shrimp in Animal Kingdom also at the.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we went there for last Monday, and
Where we had the cookie.
we're at the cookie. That Jen got 19,000 likes on. The shrimp were phenomenal. The hush puppies, now I'm a hush puppy snob.
They're good stuff.
Most places do hush puppies wrong. Disney creamed it. I'm going to tell you right now, the hush puppies were to die for. It was really, really good. If you ever are there, I think the place closes at 4 o'clock.
It's 3 or 4.
You got to get there in the daytime for one reason. You can get a seat under a fan, overlooking the castle, and watch the cavalcades go by while you're eating. It's awesome. I may just go hang out there one day and just do like a live stream and just do one of these chit chats.
Now, if those of you don't know what it is, if you've ever been to the dessert parties in Magic Kingdom when they did the fireworks, it's that location there. But what they decided to do since Columbia, the Columbia House is being used for the Peter Pan queue right now, they brought the menu over to Tomorrowland Terrace for a limited time. But you can fry shrimp, fried fish, the good old chicken nuggets that they have. That's one of the only places in Disney parks you can get them. And they have some really great, the cookie for dessert. And it's just, like Dave said, it's a really nice place to just go hang out. You're outside, there's a breeze, there's a fan. It's nice. I wasn't sitting there sweating, and it was like 115 out, I think. Well, it wasn't that hot. But no, it's a really fun place to eat.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's kind of the point is that it just had really good food. The atmosphere is totally different. It's not what you're expecting.
No.
And while we were sitting there with CJ, I think like 3 cavalcades went by.
Yeah, it was like a good cavalcade.
It was phenomenal, and those are the type of things that I look for: is where can you go, what can you do that's a little different. Everybody, of course, knows Cosmic Rays and like different places, but this was just one of those things where you've got to hit it at the right time.
They also have a lobster roll there too, which I knew there was something else that was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And the salad has like apples on it. It was really good.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is if you can find something that's a little bit different and you can something you can enjoy the heck out of, that's kind of the goal is to find something that you don't normally go to. What I'm interested in is with all these parks opening everything back up is are they going to open up Casey's? If so, when? Why haven't they? And when are they going to open my ice cream shop? I want a kitchen sink. I haven't had a kitchen sink in forever, and I don't feel like going to the Boardway to get it.
Boardwalk.
Boardwalk.
You don't get
Boardway.
to keep the thing, so it's like a big kitchen sink bowl that's like metal, so the ice cream stays cold. But you don't get to keep the plastic. When we saw that lady carrying 3 kitchen sinks around with her that day, I'm like,
That's
damn.
That was crazy.
I didn't see the rest of her party, and that's why.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like there's so many things that are just missing, and I'm sure everybody has seen the Harmonious videos now that they're testing Harmonious. I kind of thought that they were bringing back Epcot Forever the way that they were doing some of the Sparkles and Twinkles, but it looks like Harmonious is just going to come and take over. And then the other night we saw fireworks coming from Magic Kingdom, so that means with the projections that we saw, the rumor is Happily Ever After's coming back. I've also heard rumors that it's a different show. I would love for them to bring back Wishes. That would be spectacular. I miss Wishes to no end. It would be great if they brought excuse me, that back instead. But we'll take anything at this point. Something's better than nothing. And then for those of you who are looking for a Boo Bash update, Boo Bash has
Tickets go on sale tomorrow for everybody.
the tickets go on sale for general. They say that, but they've already been selling them.
But that was for resort guests.
That's how it sold out on the first day. So and that's the point is it's been all over the place, but it's supposedly tomorrow. So that's big if you're trying to go or if you're booking Boo Bash, that's important. And I think you'll see more dates that get open as we get a little bit closer. Um, but Boo Bash, let us know if you're thinking about going. We're curious what people think of the price increase. It's substantial. I mean, it's not what it was before, and you're not getting nearly what you were getting before. But I'm curious what people's thoughts are on that.
The trackers were actually talking about that. I've been there, well, not to plug their vlog, but they were talking
Like
about
they
that.
need it. They should plug mine.
No, yeah, they should. But they were even saying, I mean, they're like, if they weren't vloggers, they'd like totally like second guess things because it was.
I feel the same way.
He said it was. I think he said it was $79, between $79 and $99. I think I remember the Christmas one being $99. But yeah, it's just like, and it starts August 10th, where you'll be like,
When
kids
it's
are gonna wear
1200
bathing
degrees
suits
out,
as
yeah.
costumes. Like, come
Wait,
on.
what's your bathing suit? Yeah, I'm in Chewbacca gear and I just passed out. And that's the thing is and maybe I'm way off on this one, but for the last year you made me wear a mask, and I think everybody knows where I'm about to go with this. You made me wear a mask that covered most of my face. If I wore sunglasses and a hat, I could be a bank robber. However, I can't wear a mask to dress up as my favorite Disney character and go into the park. Really? Really? Like, I can't do that? I don't know. I don't get it. I think Disney needs to kind of, look at some of these things and kind of scratch their head and go, does that make sense? Because what happens if I go in as a cowboy and I go with my bandana over my mask, over my mouth, over my face? Does that count?
I don't know about that.
Does it count if I'm, if I wear anything? I mean, I really don't know what they mean. But it's like, oh, kids under a certain, under, what is it, 13 or something,
Mhm.
they can wear a mask, but, the rest of us, no mask for you. What was the last year about? Pretty sure I had to wear a mask even when I didn't want to. So, who knows? But other than that,
So I think we need to get your mom to come down for our anniversary so we can go to the first night of Howl-O-Scream at SeaWorld because it's on our anniversary.
does anybody know about the Howl-O-Scream at SeaWorld? Has anyone heard about this? Because this is pretty cool. SeaWorld and Busch Gardens are doing something a little different. They're doing daytime for the kiddos, and then at night it's for.
Well, Busch Garden has been doing it.
Yeah. But SeaWorld hasn't.
Oh, you can't wear a costume. It says no costumes are allowed.
Why are they taking all the fun away? Like,
I didn't notice that. I just kind of wanted to go on for a second.
So what if I just have ripped clothes and I go in? Like, are they gonna tell me I can't
to
go in?
verify dates, but
Did my chat crash, or is no one saying anything? No one's saying anything. I'm just talking. Everybody.
I thought the exact same thing, and I was like, "Are we still on?" Like,
I figured it was 1:30 in the morning. Everyone just fell asleep, and I was just gonna ride out the time. Yeah, no, everybody's just kind of listening to me drone on.
I know why you can't dress up. Because you're going into different horror experiences. I mean, they're gonna come at you with like fake stuff. Like, there's like it's intense adult themes, blood and gore, and they're gonna be dressed. And I think that's why they don't want you to dress up.
What does that have anything to do with it?
I'll dress up as Little Bo Peep. I mean,
Well, I was gonna say, wouldn't it be funny to be dressed up as like
a Disney character in SeaWorld?
Wouldn't it be great if you dressed up as like the most innocent thing you can think of? Like a baby lamb, and they come out and or something. I don't know. I think you gotta have a sense of humor in this world, and I think that I don't know. And maybe it's why I get along with Adam, because like I have a really twisted way of looking at things when it comes to certain things, because I think it would be funny. But like if you dressed up as a clown and they came out and they wanted to stab you, that would be funny.
That is funny.
But I don't know. I mean, Howl-O-Scream to me sounds like a blast. During the day it's for the kids, at night it's for the the big people. But they keep the more and more limitations they put on us, the less money I want to spend. Disney's sitting here going, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that." Why? Your price keeps going up. I should be able to do whatever I want. Like here shortly, if I want to come in as the headless horseman, I should be able to ride my own freaking horse for $199.
And Disney's
I'll even
is,
pay for the horse.
and Disney is, I think you used to be able to get in at 6 o'clock. Now they're
Now it's
pushing it to 7. But however, the after stuff does not start till 9 or 9:30, depending on what night it is, because some nights it runs from 9:30 to 12:30. While at SeaWorld, park closes the general public at 7 o'clock. From 7 to midnight, it's fair game. It's
Yeah.
like, let's have a blast.
See, and like I said, I think if I wanna come in dressed as Cruella de Vil with 101 dogs, I should have to be able to pay for the dogs, but be able to bring them.
That's fantastic.
Like, if you're willing to pay for something, I don't see what the problem is. If I'm not impinging on someone else's fun times, what do you care what I'm doing? How does a mask affect anything? Are they afraid that it's going to blow off my face when I'm on Mine Train? I'm pretty sure that if I'm in my 40s and I know how rides work, I know to take my hat off, and I probably know to take my mask off. But you made me wear a mask outside in 70, 80, 90, 100-degree heat on Mine Train anyway. So I think it's kind of hypocritical. I think it's kind of stupid. And, especially when you want me to pay $180 for the day, $150 for the day, and then pay $200 to get in. That day just cost me $350 and I haven't eaten. And that's per person. So, you got a family of 4 and you're looking at $350 per person. You just spend $1,400 that day. That is not a cheap day. And to limit the ability, like if we wanted to dress up as the Incredibles and we were a family of 4, you're going to tell me I can't wear that mask? It's covering my eyes.
They're a family of 5.
Yeah, but Jack doesn't count. Jack can morph into anything, and he's awesome. But the point is I can't wear a little band across my eyes. I don't get it. I don't understand why they're limiting. And by the way, I can honestly tell you, I never understood it. This year more so than in the past with other years because they're still making wear COVID masks. But I don't know.
You just full circles.
Well, but it's why I've been talking about the things that are. What are you looking at?
No, there's some on the rack.
No, that's good. The things that are controversial. I wanted to bring up things that I thought were controversial. The beginning people who were here were awesome because they were all chatting. Everyone else here is just ninja watching and giving.
They might have fallen asleep, which is fine.
That's okay. I have a very good NPR voice where I talk to you and make you relax and leave your computers and phones on. And
We have 2
pass out.
thumbs down, which is even funnier.
We have 2 thumbs down.
That's fantastic.
I guess I said a lot of things people don't like tonight. I will
Just
say this.
unclick the like button and leave. But you watched my channel, so.
All I'll say to you is this: if you don't like something I said, let me know why. Look, I'm not saying that every person's going to come in here and love what I'm saying. I hate to say this, but it was kind of in the title. I was discussing things that are controversial. I expected people to time out. I expected people to not be thrilled with everything. But I also kind of passed it to you guys and said, hey, let's talk about this openly.
Sleeping with Dave.
That's fantastic. Welcome to After the Parks, where we nap with Dave. That sounds bad. But that's why I wanted to have an open discussion. And I think that anybody who was there, who was here in the beginning 2 hours or hour and a half, I think that they would have been impressed with the fact that we had a very open discussion about a lot of things that could have gone very poorly. And people were able to express themselves. And that's what this was supposed to be about tonight. And to be honest with you, there's people sitting here watching, so I guess there's people that are interested in what I have to say about it. But we originally started this off as I wanted to hear what you had to say. And it's been me pretty much talking the whole time. And I don't mind. I love to hear my own voice. But at the same time, I'm more interested in what everybody else has to say about certain topics than what my own thoughts are. I know what I think about it. And I'm happy to share it with you, but I would much rather have it in a back and forth. And we had a great time earlier. So, what did you say? My wife's seeing things,
No, I didn't see anything. I was doing something.
so.
I had a mission.
But basically, I mean, I guess what I'm gonna do is I guess we're gonna wrap things up. I'm gonna wrap it up with this because nobody's really chatting anymore. So I'll end with the things that I always do. We're gonna be out and about, definitely starting again on Wednesday. Tomorrow night, we're probably gonna have another home chat. Unless something happens, I could wake up and feel spectacular tomorrow. I doubt it. Thank you to everybody who gave the warm wishes to me while I was sick. I appreciate it. Contest wise, if you haven't entered the May Your Father's Day giveaway, or not May Your Father's Day, which one is it?
I am your Father's Day giveaway.
Make sure that you post it, get it out there because we're 3 away from level 2, which is a hat and shirt. I'd like to get us up to 625 because if we get to 625, I have a ton of merchandise to give away. And I'm not kidding. Like, I may show it tomorrow night just to get you guys motivated. And then with the 1K subscriber giveaway, that I'll have the new video out. I've just been out of it the last couple of days. My apologies with being sick.
Yeah, because I'm going. We may have the actual prize tomorrow too.
You never know.
'Cause
So, the 1K subscriber giveaway, again, trying to give away 2 park passes, night at a resort, 2 shirts, 2 hats. I kind of thought it would be done by now, but we just got to get out there and promote it. Get new people in. Get people in that are Disney freaks, Star Wars freaks, anybody who's doing that kind of stuff. We want to give stuff away. And then last but not least, we'll be in the parks every night this week, starting again on Wednesday, probably during the day. Loki is Wednesday night, will be the Loki review. Thursday and Friday, we'll be back in the parks. Saturday night, we'll be doing the middle of the night stream. So we got a lot of stuff coming your way. We got to record some stuff so I can release some other content. That's why a ton of stuff didn't go out this past weekend.
now, when does the contest actually end? Because we've actually never said that with the Star Wars contest. Because it's supposed to be like, I mean, it's not. It's a catchy name for Father's Day. We just want to do something because dads seem to get swept under the rug for some reason all the time, and it's
I
all about
probably am thinking that the contest will end Friday or Saturday. And I say originally it was Friday.
And when do we want to announce this?
I'm thinking I'm going to announce it Saturday night.
That's funny on the late night chat.
On the late night chat, I think is when we're going to announce it. Either that or it'll be Friday in the park. It depends. If this contest stops moving, I'm just going to announce it Friday and we'll be done. If we had what happened during the marvelous Memorial Day where it was rocking and rolling right up to the end, there were people still coming. Matter of fact, Emily, who won,
She won a set of ears.
she won a set of ears, joined an hour before the contest closed. So, if we have that going on where people are coming in, I'll keep it open as long as possible. I'll do it live until we're on air on Saturday night. But it's always up to you guys. If I don't get feedback, if I don't get things out of it, I just make the rules up as I go along because I can. And if it means that, Friday night we close it out, I'll close it out Friday night and announce it. If we're hopping along and we're at 40, 45 people and we're getting close, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to leave it open to the last possible minute to try and get that over 625. Now, it's in my best interest financially to close it out as fast as possible. If you guys don't get over a level 2, guess what? I only have to give away a t-shirt. I'm telling you that I already have tons of merchandise. I have tons of stuff.
To give away.
Like, if you guys get us up to 625, there's Star Wars items pouring out. I have bought a bunch of stuff. And if not, it just means I have more giveaways to give away. I'll just give them away on other things.
Keep the one thing.
The one thing I may keep too, because I really like it. So, it's not that I'm rooting against you, but, I want the channel to grow and I'm incentivizing people by saying, hey, look, I've got a bunch of merchandise. My wife's also going back to Character Warehouse tomorrow.
And I don't know, and I
hate to tell you this, but every time she goes there, it costs me money. And she goes there and she buys, and we're Star Wars people, so she does kind of buy some stuff.
And I haven't been on a weekday in a while since we went to the Universal one, but I'm not going up to that one.
So basically the bottom line comes down to is help us grow the channel, hit that like button, subscribe. It's not hard. Share it out to people. Get people out there and say, look, this guy's nuts. I know the content's been a little limited since I've been sick over the last couple of days, but I've been sick. There's nothing I can do about it. But let us know if there's anything you want to see, if there's anything that you want us to talk about, if there's anything that you want us to do. Let us know. And then also new website. I have it done. I'm going to be launching that probably tomorrow. That also has merch on it, and our new merch comes out this week as well because I've got all of that cleared. I'm actually surprised. I am too. I don't understand it. To be perfectly honest with you, Jedi, we kind of plateaued over the last week and a half. My videos are being shown everywhere. YouTube's promoting the heck out of us. But my chats have gotten flat. We're not getting over 17, 18 people in the chat anymore. So I don't know. Maybe I'm on too much. That's the other side, is maybe I need to cut back. I try to give you guys as much access as possible, but maybe that's not the right thing to do either. I'm learning, so I appreciate anybody's feedback when I can get it. But when I sit here and I talk for 40 minutes and the only person I'm talking to is Jedi, but I know there's 10 of you, I can see it. I don't mind ninja watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I do. It's great for my time. It's great for everything. And there's nothing that says you got to interact with me. It's not what it's about. If you're here for information, you just kind of, like Teresa is trying to get through a storm right now. Hang out with us. I enjoy the chat more than anything. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of selfish in that respect. I love when people do feedback. It gives me an opportunity to interact with you guys, which is why I do live streaming. Because if not, I would just vlog. So, got 2 contests going right now. You know where we're going to be the rest of the week. You know what we're going to be up to. And
So yeah, because the park, we're just gonna say it's 70% we're not going.
I'd say it's a 50-50 for tomorrow.
And we're still at 50-50.
50-50. I mean, at the end of the day, if I feel up to it, an hour's an hour. I haven't been out of the house with the exception of going to the doctor to find out that I don't have COVID since Thursday. So, but again, I could wake up tomorrow and feel like I do right now, in which case I'm not going. If I wake up tomorrow and I feel like Superman, I'm good to go. So, is there anything else that anybody wants to talk about, controversial with Disney, or anything that's not, or have any questions about Disney that we can answer for y'all, or anything at all? Coming on vacation, want to know protocols? I can tell you right now, no one else is really listening. So if you've never spoke up, that was a good time. Going once. I feel like an auctioneer. Where's Condor Jimmy? He would be like, stop being an auctioneer.
Oh my gosh, he's probably like asleep. It's like so late over there. It's like
actually he's
early
getting up.
morning.
I was gonna say he should be getting up soon. If
morning.
we hang out long enough, our UK crew will be on soon. So, but I mean it's 1:45, and I would assume that if at 2:00 in the morning, which is 11:00 West Coast time, no one's coming in. So, and I haven't gotten all of my West Coast folks tonight. So, but with that, you know where we are, you know what we're up to. Check us out on Instagram as well. Every day, if you're curious what's going on with us, it's posted in our stories at Instagram, Florida Park Explorers. You can check out the new website probably starting tomorrow. I'll probably be making that announcement during the day. FloridaParkExplorers.com. That's going to have all of the information on how you can interact with us, from buying merch to Patreon to where we're going to be, how we're going to do it. And last but not least, I have an entire new line of Disney merch, or Disney themed merch. I can't say Disney merch. It's all originals. That's going to be coming out a couple of days after we launch the website. Make sure it doesn't have any issues or glitches. You can also contact us there as well. But we're on all different social medias. And Stone Cold Jedi, take care of that puppy. Teresa, if you're still hanging out there, be safe tonight. And to everybody else who's ninja watching, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. And David and Jen, Florida Park Explorers, saying that we will see you in the parks and have a magical night. Thanks so much. Take care.